You have 68 wins. You cannot 69 Nina.
Hey everyone, it is the center of attention, Brittany Brooks, and you are watching Simply Reliable Studios.
Come on over, Sam. I'm being see, earlier I said something stupid to him, and now this is my receipt. Okay?
Sabu's just sabotaging you.
Yep. He sure did. Yeah, he's taking over.
Hijacking is a better word. You're right.
Good luck.
What up, everybody? This is the People's Babushka, and you are watching Simply Reliable Studios.
Shout out to Simply Reliable Studios making their Symphony debut, sponsoring this match and the entire Dragon Kai demonstration.
What's up, everybody? It is the hottest flame, the realest Hogan, the bionic baddie, Kiera Hogan, period, and you are watching Simply Reliable Studios.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Noah. I believe in Datula. The Meltzer of the multiverse. Who the fuck wants to compare themselves to another? How much of a mark do you have to be? You couldn't even pick a professional athlete. You went with a fucking journalist? Grow up, man.
We just want to say thank you to Simply Reliable Studios for voting us as Tag Team of the Year.
Of course.
Because you know what they say, right? If you can't swim, you're bound to drown.
Tonight, she is sponsored by Simply Reliable Studios of Orlando, Florida. She is everybody's favorite BFF, Izzy Marino.
Heyo, this is Jack Cartwheel. You are watching Simply Reliable Studios.
Get it? Got it.
It is once again that time of the year where the Cathedral for football, even though they didn't take the freaking cup, they might very well take it home as we go all in. And welcome everybody officially to the latest edition of Simply Predicting as we bring you a discussion for All Elite Wrestling's biggest pay of the year from Wembley Stadium in London. This is All In. Welcome to the forum. Hello, everybody, and welcome back again once again to the Simple Studios and another edition of Simply Predicting. You know what this is for. I am the Simple Man, the Simple Brand, the voice, so that's for Grateful for Office Special Wrestling. Damn it. And my name is Noel Foster. So thank you all for tuning in by the live on demand. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. And if you want to dictate the conversation, super chat or PayPal the passions, it's as simple as that. If he acts like an idiot, I'm immediately removing him from the stream. That being said, good to see everybody in the chat, of course. Safet, Sarah Cruz, as this is professional wrestling, damn it. Will we see a man culminate 10 years of a climb to the peak? Will he pull the trigger? Generational tag team rivalry comes ahead, and many of Britain's own look to bring it home. And will someone lose their smile at the other one's hand, or once again will we smile anyways? This is so much more to be addressed on this incredible edition I'm looking forward to discuss of AEW All In on Simply Predicting. Let's go ahead and introduce the panel and get their hype, because again, as you know, this forum is unapologetic. It's unscripted. It's authentic. You will get raw passion, raw emotion. You will get raw outtakes, and you might get some solid predictions. Or some that don't make the cut on the leaderboard, but hey, I welcome everybody that participates. If you know, you know. First and foremost, he is the CEO, Chief Brand Ambassador. He is one of the founding pioneers that encourages me the most here at the Simple Studios, the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams. JJ, how are you, and how you feeling about All In this coming Sunday?
I'm doing well. Good to be seen. I hate that you compared me to the CEO. You made me have to break out in that horrendous CEO dance.
I do stuff for a reason, and you know why, bruv.
So, Fett, let's go ahead and hit him early with the hashtag GTA stripper twat waffle.
As, of course, that will be our semi-main event, as I've put in my own little booking order. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, I mean, there's matches I'm looking forward to. There's matches I could care less about. Much with any professional wrestling card, regardless of brand.
Exactly.
Regardless of company. I actually had somebody ask me if I was excited for All In the other day, and I kind of said the same thing to him because, I unfortunately will not be here for All In. I won't be able to participate with the Simply Reliable Studios. Number one, even if I was home, I don't have the $50 to buy it.
I would donate to you.
And we're already having a 3-person booth. We don't need a 4 or a 5-person booth.
No. Overkill.
So I am going to the Kitsune, I think I said that right, women's wrestling show in LA. I'm going to see a bunch of women's wrestling, support women's wrestling, advocate of women's wrestling.
Damn it.
But so yeah, you'll know which matches I'm passionate about when we get to them, and whether you super chat or not, you might just get a hell of a rant from me when we get to the semi-main event.
I'm looking forward to it, and I wouldn't want it any other way. So thank you for that, JJ. And alongside him, he might share half a brain with him. It is Mr. Reliable himself at Rage of Wrestling, Walter Cruz, the reliable resource, the Super Reliable Studios, who works 24/7, 365 all the time, past 9 to 5, probably working 2 jobs as we speak, in case you all don't know, as I see him right now, gazing off into something else. Not copyright, but also rest in peace, Dolly Parton. We'll get Walter's thoughts when he's available. But after we continue forward, going around the horn, it's good to welcome a newcomer here to the Super Reliable Studios, who's truly made this as a family member his home. And I welcome him to this forum. Dave Scheffler, good to see you once again. Birdman, how are you, my friend? How you feel about AEW All In? Plead your
I'm
case.
doing good, Noah, and you still look as dapper as ever this late at night for us Eastern Coast people. I'm about a 7.5 out of 10 about this. Kind of like JJ, there's matches I'm really, really interested in, but there's some I could care less about. But they usually do put on a good pay-per-view, and it's a great thing that it's so early in the day being in London. So no late night on Sunday for me.
Yeah, personally, I prefer early afternoon pay-per-views on a Sunday, if you will, because I like Sunday evenings for sleeping and gaming. Just saying. After I come home from church and I eat dinner at 2 p.m., my day's done at 3 before work resumes the next day. Simple as that. But thank you, Dave. Good to have you here. Now let's go ahead and bring the floor to Mr. Reliable Walter Cruz, that he gave me the message inside private chat, and I want to hear him now speak because, of course, to JJ's point, he will be part of the booth. Walter, how are you?
I'm okay. As one of the ones part of the booth, thanks to you, I am excited. I'm up there. Like everybody says, there's some matches more than the others, but I'm excited to the whole thing. The whole English atmosphere and everything is going to hype this show up a lot. So I can't wait to get into it.
And I can't wait to get into it either. And speaking of the commentary booth, as we said, there are 3 people, and we love women's wrestling. And the dichotomy of women's wrestling not just graces the ring, it graces even virtual commentary. Shout out to Veda Scott, who's one of the hardest working independent wrestling commentators across the world, it seems, and needs to be signed. But that being said, you saw her earlier on the Simple Session get a perfect score on our Monopoly shenanigans. As always, she's yours, she's mine, she's our Canadian friend, Ash. And someone turn that off. Anyway, Ash, how are you?
Hey,
It's finally
she
time.
got her own song. You guys keep forgetting that.
Cut that out. Seriously. That's a different form. Anyway, Ash, how you feel about All In? Good to see you, my friend.
I'm doing well. There's a few matches I'm looking forward to, but overall, I'd say interest levels like a 7 out of 10 right now.
Yeah, exactly. I think about maybe 8 because, again, the one match that I really always enjoy is the definition of predictability, just to see who beats the daylights out of each other and who gets the quick win. Talk more about that later. Certainly last but not least, and again, this is predicting, not show assessment, so I will have a horn ready to mute you. But first and foremost, I do appreciate his outlook and opinion, and he is a valuable part of the family. Maybe too much of a workaholic. If you know, you know, folks. The king of all foods, and shout out to Mrs. Ferrantes, who is a master of her own talent. It is happy here once again to welcome on to the fray Nick Ferrantes at NickBelieves12. Nick, how are you? How you feeling about All In?
Good. Like everybody else, there's things I'm looking forward to. There's other things that I'm meh. But there's one real key thing that I'm really going to be watching out for. So we'll get into it. And Noah, I will say, sorry, you don't get any shenanigans from me tonight, buddy. So you're safe for tonight.
We got
You
enough
realize how
shenanigans
much-
during the interview a little while ago.
Yeah, we'll see how much that trust works with the guy in the suit that knows how to hit a certain button. Just saying. All right, that being said, thank you, Nick. All right, well, now you all seen the panel. And again, your opinions matter too, chat. Let your opinions be known. And if you are in the All Elite League, like pretty much everybody here, whether you're Team No DQ, yes, believe it or not, Team No DQ is not just about the Fed. There are selected members that do look more at other brands of wrestling than outside that company. Crazy concept. And of course, you are part of the galaxy of Cindy Predicting that is in that league, much like Ash, who right now I can say you are in 5th place. Get those opinions in. Of course, your predictions will be official come Sunday. That is Sunday, 12:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time before the main card goes live. Simple as that. And of course, to the special course case here, I got you covered. All right, so without further ado, Sim in the community, No DQ Galaxy, all elite fans, whether you call yourselves sickos or in general, simple men and women. Let's get right into it. So again, folks, this is AEW All In London. It will emanate, of course, from Wembley Stadium. Here's how you can watch the show on multiple platforms, including my AEW and select international markets. So show your support today to All Elite Wrestling or take a chance on a different company here if you're looking for a different outlook to invest in for professional wrestling, as this is their variation of what we call WrestleMania, except this actually has a whole lot more wrestling in it, and I love it for that. And of course, again, it's available exclusively here in the States on HBO Max, but there will be a 2-hour buy-in, matches and previews to be involved. And of course, if there's another team that wants to cover that here at SRS, I welcome you all to do that. I will be at church, but I will be home. Bell time, come 1 p.m. Standard Time. And of course, that is when you will see me, Walter, and Ash on the call for the entire festivity, where my friends at ATW have shared me some thoughts from Madman Tony Khan's media call, that he says he's going to try and hold this to a 4-hour main card timer. So I encourage you all that want to have fun with that to have a stopwatch handy. But regardless, if you're engaged in professional wrestling, and we get to tell you since day 0 of AEW, 9.5 out of 10 times AEW pay-per-views do not miss, and everyone here has said in some case, trust me, you won't be disappointed, and you might not even think that time is an issue. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into this right away. We have 8 wild matches on this main card to discuss tonight, as always, to be predicting with the quantity and quality of the card in the panel. People will say their piece for the bigger matches, and then we will go to agree or disagree for those that may open up, but it may be of a lesser discussion or a more unanimous predictions. I'm very curious to see if any matches tonight will absolutely be unanimous. So let's go ahead and kick things off with the AEW World Tag Team Championships, as Adam Copeland and Christian Cage face for the first time ever a tag team who's been super kicking since the backyards to the big screen, who have been a generational influence, good or bad, on tag team wrestling. The Young Bucks. And of course, the Young Bucks are former notorious 4-time AEW Tag Team Champions. Previous time we were here in Wembley Stadium, they got the best outfit for any Beatles fan. Ringo Starr was the drummer of the band. And of course, they outlasted the acclaimed NFTR in a triple threat. Young Bucks, though, who had everything from a $7 figure to a private jet and a sneaker collection, started the way up from ground zero and now find themselves in this opportunity here. After being on an incredible winning streak for the last few months, and of course, Christian Cage and Adam Copeland, they have been unstoppable as a tag team since seizing the titles back at Double or Nothing against FTR. With already fallout that has really reached a personal boiling point since Grand Slam Mexico's miscommunication and the 16 fallout where Christian Cage low-blowed one of the Bucks in the uprights, better than a rugby player, which led to a super kick and a spear, and Adam Copeland, the last man standing, who didn't want to necessarily, I think, pull that trigger, but it seems it's come to that. We are looking at a team that is legendary versus the other team that's been influential. And while one may be spearheading a company guiding tag team wrestling, the other one has been spearheading tag team wrestling history for the better part of over 2 decades, and have been tag champs now for the first time in over 2 decades. So, as we go all in, history to be made. Christian Cage, Adam Copeland, is this one last ride done, or do we see the Young Bucks humbled by the veterans? Let's go around the horn and see what y'all think about this opening contest. We will start first and foremost with Dave Scheffler here, since he's one of the newest members of City Predicting. Hi, Dave. So, Dave, what's your outlook on Adam Copeland and Christian Cage when it comes to their run as tag team champions? And who's your pick to lead at the gold? That's always folks here instead of predicting is about who has declared the champions and leave at the gold at the end of the day. As always, counter qualification means nothing when it comes to a title change. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, no, thank you. I've enjoyed the resurgence of Christian and Cope because as long as I've been watching wrestling, I remember the good old days when it was Edge and Christian. So they've had a good run, but I think it's about to end. And I think it's going to have to do with the Bucks later down the road facing a new tag team that should be showing up hopefully Sunday night. But I think definitely it's going to be the Young Bucks with their fourth AEW Tag Team Title Championship, taking the gold from Christian and Cole.
Wow, already off the bat, we got new champs. And considering every match is a championship match except for the Gauntlet championship implications, that's a very unique start. Could be a sign of things to come. Wrestle Kingdom, they've had all titles change hands from the top to bottom of the card. Ash can attest. So I like that. All right, well, that being said, this is our opening match, but we do have a ballot for new champs. Does anyone think they're going to retain, or is this unanimous? Going what? There we go. Walter, go ahead. Speak your piece. Why do you have Adam Copeland and Christian Cage retaining?
I just feel like they're going to lose it to a new team that's going to be introduced. I don't even think this is going to be a 2 versus 2 match. I think there's going to be a callback to the WrestleMania, and somebody's going to come out and announce there's a new team at it, and you're going to see the debut of the New Day get added to this. And that's the way that the Christian and Cage can retain without pinning one of the Young Bucks. They'll probably lose in their debut, but then get a future title shot. And that's what I think Christian and Cope will eventually lose it to. I don't think Matt and his brother Nick will win the titles here tonight. I could be wrong, and that could be wishful thinking because I just don't want to see them as champs again because you know how I feel about Young Bucks, even though they turned the leaf and everything. But
yeah, I'm sure you're not the only one. I trust me. Again, like I said, I welcome raw, realistic, emotionally driven predictions because that's passion, damn it. And sometimes those predictions, like Chelsea Green, actually lead you into a point. Sorry, Aaron. Again, in Hot Mess we trust. Better face of America than the public office. What? Anyway, thank you, Walter. All right, that being said, 1-to-1 ballot. I said what I said. 1-to-1 ballot case. All right. Does anyone else have anything further to say regarding this? JJ, I'll go to you next from one brain to another. And for those that want to hear a personal outlook more than a business outlook, or maybe it's a combination of both, you came to the right place with this match. What you got to say, JJ?
This is why what Nick said in private kind of, we should have gone there first, because the hot rumor is that a mystery team is going to be debuting in this trios roulette, whatever the fuck they're calling it. We got a roulette gauntlet, we got a casino gauntlet, we got a gauntlet for the gold, we've got casino battle royal, we've got I'm confused.
It's all good.
But there's supposed to be a mystery trio debuting in that, which is probably going to be the New Day with Swerve or whoever they're going to be partnered with, which means what Walter said about, and what Dave said about the New Day debuting, getting added to this match, probably isn't going to happen. So, much to my chagrin, I am going to go for the Massey brothers from Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Wow.
Because I feel like All Out will be the rematch. Wrestle Dream will be Christian versus Cope one last time in what is probably going to be Cope's last match.
I'm kind of surprised you put the Young Bucks there, but okay. So
Look, I would love to see anybody but Matthew and Nicholas Jackson dethrone Cage and Cope.
Damn it.
But if we're just being real, nobody is positioned to. The Machine Guns made their hot debut, and where have they been?
We got to figure stuff out after All In for them.
They've been in catering since Detroit.
Very much.
You know, we aren't building up young tag teams like Busta and the Brain, Jordan Oliver and Alec Price. We've got 532 tag teams on the AEW roster as opposed to the 3 on the WWE roster, and we can't do nothing with them. The only way I see Christian and Cope retaining is if FTR come out and make the match a schmoz. And for all of those people out there that are naysayers that are talking about, oh, well, FTR said they're taking a hiatus, a break for wrestling right now, blah, blah, blah. They're wrestling the night before in London.
There you go. Sometimes you take a break from AEW, you don't take a break from the business. But that being said, you got the Young Bucks.
Sadly, I do, yes.
Consider it written down. All right, Dave, I did see your hand, but let's go ahead and speak to the Canadians. Now, we'll start with the, you insert adjective here. You all know what I say sometimes. Hi, Ash. Let's go ahead and get your batting take for this opening match. What's your outlook? I mean, again, it is speculation, and I always say that when I hear the word rumor. Much like sometimes how story months maybe we want to barf, depending on what the story actually is. Rumor is literally not a reality until you see it. Period. But I understand where people come from that feed into that notification and that fantasy booking machine and feed into that maybe actually being actuality. Again, journalism is a degree that actually makes money for some reason, much like a lawyer. Then again, the two aren't the same for a reason either. And that being said, Ash, do you have Adam Coleman and Christian Cage retaining, or do you think the Young Bucks get them? I mean, again, I look at All In, I look at the grandest stage. You gotta consider everything's gonna be a soft reset afterwards, even when we go all out. So what do you think?
It's one of those situations where it's just like, what are we doing? Because on the one hand,
what are we doing?
If Cope and Christian retain, what other team do they have feud with? And you can make that same argument with the Young Bucks.
They're 1A, 1B.
Exactly, because neither team need the title. So, where do we go from here?
Where do we go now? I don't know. You tell me.
That's what I'm trying to figure out here.
I love when I can rattle her brain.
Because on the one hand, Cope and Christian, they're doing some good with the tag titles. They don't really got any feuds to build up for them. They don't need the titles. But on the other hand, I don't want to see the Young Bucks with the titles because we all see how they've been with the titles. Because like people argue all the time, like, oh, the Young Bucks have elevated people. Who?
Let me see. Recent memory. Well, that's definitely not one. I remember when they did it at the Private Party Live, but that was a special diamond that I saw in Cleveland. Other than that, I got nothing.
Exactly. So on the one hand, it's like, what do we gain from the Young Bucks winning the titles? But at the same time, what do we get from a Cope and Christian retaining? And it's just like, this division is like, yeah, it has teams, but they're not using the teams. They're not utilizing the teams.
All right, get that GIF off screen. Thank you, though. We don't need to freaking get inverse propaganda here, even though it's accurate. And I will say this.
That's the only reason I threw it up there is because it went perfectly with what she's saying.
Fair enough, but don't block Ash. But that being said, I understand what you mean because we talk about it all the time. Placement sometimes is key, and the way I see it, the placement right now is insert team here. Talking about those young teams from earlier, you figure about those like the Rascals who've been colliding in every trios and tag team capacity possible. You figure about the Dogs that were previous challengers to Cage and Cope, once for Switchblade Jay White. Very well could have changed there as they saw a lot of themselves in that. That actually would have been a reset, in my opinion, at Forbidden Door. And then you figure about prior to that, Death Rider Team 1, Death Rider Team 2, they beat both. So now it's just a matter of, okay, what tag teams do we use here? Hurt Syndicate? Well, I mean, they're veterans as well, but do they need the tag straps? Well, that'd be probably pretty cool. They already had them as well. Draz Express, been there, done that. Moisture Machine Guns versus Adam Cole and Christian Cage. That could be interesting. Do I want to see that more than the Young Bucks? Actually, yes, because that match actually never happened. I remember Generation B from TNA. Oh, excuse me, RTNA. But yeah, I understand what you mean. But right now, you gotta have somebody still at the top. So whether or not it's Shang Shun or Shao Kahn, you be the judge. That being said, Ash, who's your pick?
I'm going based off what the more likely outcome with AEW is, and I think at this point, they're when in doubt, put the titles on the Young Bucks.
Okay. Well, I got a 4-point lead, so guess what? Some of these predictions might shock people. Then again, I broke Aaron when I said Chelsea Green. I got Coleman Cage retaining. To JJ's point, even though the Wrestle Dream won last time, 1-on-1 would be a cool idea, I don't think they need to do that. Honestly, I think that, again, the whole purpose that Adam Coleman win AEW with Christian Cage, and they had their spit over the TNT Championship that involved Spike in the cages. If you know, folks. I just feel like right now, and people fantasize at one point about FTR, Young Bucks, and freaking Cage and Colt, which hasn't happened yet. It could very well go all out considering the freaking reduce, reuse, recycle formula with those three teams that are more tied together than rock, paper, scissors. With the fact that it hasn't been done yet, it sounds like it still could be something to come. And the fact of the matter is, FTR and the Young Bucks, I think they pretty much got the same number of tag runs at this point. I think FTR, for a reason, wanted to be like the longest reign. So right now, I think that this is kind of like the last thing that Christian Cage and Adam Copeland need to do. And I don't think it is done here with them losing the straps at All In. For right now, I got the Adam Coleman and Christian Cage retaining, especially after Copeland speared one of the Masties out of their boots. Right now, it's 1-1. One got kicked in the uprights, one got super kicked, and the other one got speared. So what's the final part of the formula? All In result. That being said, I got Cage and Cope retaining. I think it continues because I do think there is still more of an identity for first-time matchups. And, of course, the grit, the veterans, the legendaries going up against younger teams. Yes, please. I want to see more of that. And whether or not it's Motion Machine Guns, a New Day, Rascals, or something else that might surprise me out of the blue, I see more first-time opportunity with Cage and Cope being the opposition versus the Young Bucks that have been here since day one of AEW. Cage and Cope to retain. Dave, I did see your hand real quick, but you got to say real quick before I give it to Nick to finish out this last match, or for this first match. You're muted. Watch. 3, 2. Okay, he's good, apparently. Or he's glitching. I don't know. I don't waste time here. We're live, pal. Nick, speak your piece, bruv. What you got to say regarding this?
Yeah, I agree with kind of JJ really took my point on that. To the New Day point, they're not showing up at this match. I'm gonna say it's about 95% sure that they're debuting in the Trios Gauntlet.
I personally hope they don't, and that everyone can just shut up about thinking that it's a new day, it's a new day, it's a new day. Then again, I guess that means people continue talking about it.
So and I get what you're saying, but I think if you listen to the media call today, Tony indirectly said it without saying it. Because that, and I mean, I hope if we get to it, we get to it. Yeah. So I have Cope and Christian retaining. And just like JJ, I see an FTR return. I think the promo that they cut on Dynamite, I think it was either this week or last week, where they literally said living legends. Yeah. There's only one team, one group that have called themselves living legends recently, and that is FTR. So exactly. I can see FTR being upset that they're getting a shot, that they're taking their Wembley moment and costing the Bucks the title and what have you. So yeah, I have Cope and Christian retaining.
Well, considering JJ dropped the friggin' surprise to people that don't know that they're actually wrestling in London, it shouldn't be a hot skip and a jump too far away from catching a double-decker bus or one of those tiny little taxis to get to Wembley Stadium.
And to that point, FTR is on the Rev Pro show the night previous.
Yeah,
so
that's the show that JJ is talking about.
Exactly, the guy that keeps up with all the feeds because he has to. Sometimes
I just couldn't remember the name of the company, Ash. So thank you for throwing that out there.
Yeah,
but I knew they were wrestling in England the night before. So
I figured it had to be Rev Pro because Rev Pro and Pro Wrestling Eve are the predominant companies that take place in the freaking UK, and they both have shows practically on that weekend.
And I'm pretty sure FTR is facing Cowboy Way. I'm pretty sure they're facing Manders.
Yes, and
And
Fire. That's
yeah.
gonna be a banner.
You're
So
damn right. Again, if you all watch Red Pro, they also have their own subscriber service that will cost you your freaking kidney.
yeah.
Anyway.
So I mean, I do want to take it because you guys did mention about the New Day. Just really quick, Tony did a great job in the media call in mincing his words and kind of alluding to it because people have to remember, and like you said, you're to Noah's point where you were like, oh, I wish it's not the New Day so nobody so we can all just shut up about it. The fact that Tony said what he said, and I quote, the wildcard team is a team that he's still negotiating with. I mean, there's only one team like that. And then to Ash's point about, when or if Cope and Christian retain, I mean, we still have Motor City Machine Guns that just came in. The New Day, like we have a lot of teams. I'm not worried about post All In. Like it'll be fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine. All right. Well, thank you for that outlook, Mick.
My problem is I have a hard time enjoying the now while also looking into the future.
Well, maybe you should start living in the present and not trying to dictate the future, because how will that work in Back to the Future at the DeLorean where they almost fucked up the timeline? If you know, you know, folks. Yes, when I was once a wee lad, I did watch at least that movie, unlike Attila. Despite the fact Attila had never seen that, and Ash has never seen the Bret the Hitman Hart match, there is some stuff, surprisingly, that I actually have done out of both of them. But that being said, sit your seats in the upright position. We move into our next match here and see if you have a proper landing on the runway. As this Darby Allin and Kevin Knight once again for the TNT Championship, but this time these crazy mother effers are going Falls Count Anywhere. This rivalry, of course, escalated after Kevin Knight crashed down like a UFO out of the sky on a stretcher Darby Allin at Double or Nothing, and went into business for himself when it came to his own potential and selling out his soul to the Don Callis family. Now the longest reigning successful defense number TNT champion in a single run, outlasting the likes of Kyle Fletcher and Darby Allin, and literally trying to hospitalize the man with a pyrotechnic explosion and a coast-to-coast with a steel chair. We know this guy who's been hit by a bus, survived a suicidal drive with his father, was 6 years old, and climbed Mount Everest and tail to tail. He's going to come by any means necessary when it comes to seizing this title that he holds more near and dear than the World Championship in the name of the late, great Brody Lee. But with also that in mind, he's testing Kevin Knight to see how far are you willing to go. If Falls Count Anywhere, they can go up to the damn arc above that damn stadium. If you know, you know, folks. So bottom line is this. Do we crown a brand new TNT champion, or does the Jet be the one you look up to? And does Darby Allin look up to him while flat on his back? Hopefully not in a coffin and being lit on fire. I don't think his record, by the way, at freaking All in London is not that great. Considering it's the third time, I'm pretty sure he is 1-1. The last time we were here, it was for the TNT title, and he lost and nearly got set on fire. Just saying. Either way, does the Jet rise to the occasion, or does Darby Allin humble this brash, arrogant young man that might have too big of an ego for his own freaking visor? Let's go around the horn and see what y'all think about this. TNT title time. Let's go to Ash first for this. Ash, what do you think? Kevin Knight, a guy that's literally honed his own opportunity. We talked about the next generation, only what they can do or being given a chance to show what they can do. He's been one of those definitely for AEW, like Kyle Fletcher, in the last calendar year, particularly in the last few months since joining the Don Callis family. But Darby Allin, he's always been that unique standard that you kind of have to try and overcome or survive. And these two go way back if you look at their history. So what do you think?
I think Kevin Knight retains the title because I don't think Darby Allin really needs the TNT title at this point. Plus, there's me thinking too far ahead. Kevin Knight has unfinished business with another person, and I can see that being the all-out match.
All right, fair enough. So you got Kevin Knight retaining.
Yes.
All right. That would be his 10th defense, by the way, for those that have been keeping track, since, of course, he won this title in a casino gauntlet at Dynasty due to Kyle Fletcher's injury. Thank you for that. All right. Does anyone believe that Darby Allin will become the new TNT champion? Going one. Go. Wow. Hi, JJ. Go ahead. Floor is yours. Why you got Darby Allin becoming what I believe would be a 2-time TNT champion?
Because the world title experiment failed miserably and Tony Khan is loyal to him. as fucked up as it is to say it, yeah. That's pretty much my logic behind it. The world title experiment failed. Tony Khan is loyal to Darby. It's false count anywhere. Darby is a sick, twisted, sadistic fuck. It's Wembley Stadium. They're going to give him a huge moment. I got Darby taking it.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Biggest show of the year.
Buy the shirt.
Yes, buy the shirt. Buy all the
Shout
shirts.
out
Also
to
buy
Jeff
the shirts.
Meacham.
And shout out to Tommaso Studios. Buy the shirts today. The way I look at it is this. Kevin Knight, there is still a lot of history left when it comes to him and that title. Much to Ash's point, someone who also faced him and came up short. Wouldn't surprise me if another person who once held it may want it back, especially considering what may happen in his match, cause and effect. For Darby Allin, though, he is that consummate workhorse. And whether or not you think the AEW World Championship was a failed experiment, he still defended his title more than most champions right now in the wrestling business and gave bangers both on pay-per-view and on television, and you can't argue that. And it's just one of those things right now that I look at Darby Allin, I don't think he needs to go back to the world title again, and I almost felt like it was just one of those things he wanted to do in the moment. TNT title fits him. It's a comfort zone, much like Orange Cassidy and the international title that's been unrivaled since those two runs. So part of me wants to say that Darby wins, but I think about Kevin Knight, who already had his chance the world title against Kenny Omega, still beefing with MJF, and I do wonder when he and Kyle Fletcher are going to collide. If you know, you know, folks. So do I want to see Jet 2 belts? Do I want to see Jet no belts? Do I want to see Jet go after a new belt, much like changing your location mid-flight? I think for me, and think about this show being the biggest for moments of glory, how many moments outweigh how many don't happen versus a championship being changed versus something being further pushed? And by the way, Speedball Mike Bailey is in the Casino Gauntlet, so he's already busy right now tonight. We'll talk more about that later. I got Darby Allin, I think, winning right now, too. But I don't know necessarily if it's going to be like a long run. Because, again, I really don't think neither man need the TNT title anymore. I think they're both above that. But Darby doesn't need the world title. Kevin Knight, potential world championship material, much like someone else we'll talk about later. I got Darby winning as well. Dave, what do you want to add real quick before we see if anyone else has anything to add before we move on?
I'm going to say I'm with Ash, but the reasoning is everything seems to point towards Darby winning this. It's a match in his wheelhouse. Knight was the last one standing and the last time they were together. But I just see they should keep their young stars strong. And in my opinion, I think Bailey's going to take the title off of him.
Oh, so you do have that as the end game.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Fair enough. And again, I could totally see that. He came within half a count of taking the freaking international championship from Kyle Fletcher at Grand Slam Mexico. Think about it for those that tune into our watch lines and keep tuning into all of our watch lines here, regardless of companies and venues. All right. So that being said, we got some retainments. We got some changes. Anyone else have to add anything else before we move on here? Walter or Nick? I see Nick's hand somewhat in the dark, coming to light. So Nick, go ahead and say your piece.
You guys, while I love everything y'all are saying, I think Kevin Knight's retaining. Because we're forgetting one really big X factor. It is a false count anywhere, but that also means this is a no DQ match.
Correct.
No pun intended. We are missing a very big X factor here. And I feel like this will be one of many things that we are going to see in the show. What's Marasade's status, right? Because she did ask for her release from TNA. She is in a relationship with Kevin Knight. Does she play a factor in this? I believe she does. I believe that'll be our first debut, or one debut of many that night. And I think you just have Mara Sade and Kevin Knight be this power couple.
I'll take. All right. Interesting food for thought. Do you even consider that? And again, I don't hate the idea, but either way, he has Kevin Knight retaining. Walter, go ahead and lend your voice here since everyone did. I feel like this is fitting because, again, we're going for these matches like that, considering, again, 8 matches. And for once, it's not a double-digit card. Thank Christ. Walter, what you got to say regarding the TNT Championship match? You got Darby Allin regaining or Kevin Knight retaining?
I think there's still fuel left in the jet, and he continues to fly. He retains.
All right. Fair enough. I like it. It was almost split here, but I think it went in favor of 4-2.
You
All
just
right.
can't resist the puns, can you?
No, he can't. It's Walter Cruz. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Reliable. He'll be here all freaking night. Bloody hell. Don't forget to tip your waitress. All right. Thank you for that, Walter. With that being said, from tipping your waitress to placing your bets, and of all people I'm going to let lead this match, he kept talking about it and talking about it and talking about it because it just made sense. And I hear right now, I'm going to say it live on air. This is going to be my out-of-body experience, and this is going to get the supplements. That's professional wrestling, damn it. Nick, it's on you. Let's talk about the Don Callis family and the AEW National Championship. Here we fucking go. The Proto-Star, Kevin Knight, defends the gold against Kazuchika Okada. Beach. And, of course, the Alpha, Konosuke Takeshita. Of course, Kyle Fletcher won this title back at Beach Break against the Alpha with a freaking top rope twisting Protostar Brainbuster. Kazuchika Okada, previous champion before Kyle Fletcher, of course, lost to Konosuke Takeshita in Double or Nothing. Konosuke now back, of course, from G1 Climax, and of course, excommunicated from the family by family member 2. Again, Protashita no more. Proto Okada, is it? Because what Don Callis did is he levied this deal to Nick's, of course, booking. I called it, or whatever. He's like, I needed it. I'm glad I got it, blah, blah, blah. And of course, Don Callis only has his own selfish agenda in mind. Keep the gold in the family or keep the gold on the most valuable asset of the family. Who's the most valuable asset? Is it the Rainmaker? Is it the Protostar? Is it Mark Davis? Is it Trent Beretta, Rocker Man? I think we all know the answer. But that being said, it's continued fallout with the inaugural members of the Don Callis family and the Rainmaker right in the middle. When it comes to the Don Callis family, this is the story of the damn family, despite the fact 2 of them are still in it. But I think 1 is also getting very effing sick of it. Y'all know how Triple Threat goes and how I look at them. Buffer, fall person, you know the chairman does not be involved in the decision for the decision to be rendered. You can look at each man's history, how they have pinned and beaten one another. Except Kyle Fletcher has had the better of Okada on every singles occasion. Not singles, though, it's Triple Threat. Previous Triple Threat has history, though, has favored the Rainmaker, much like All Out last year that, Nick, you saw live. So that being said, Nick, do you have a brand new AEW International Champion? Does it stay in the family is the bigger question, or do you see continued fallout where we think someone else soon enough is going to be leaving?
We do get a new champion, but it will not be in the family. Takeshita wins. Takeshita regains his title. The only reason why, let's be real, the only reason why he gave up his title was because he was in the G1. They couldn't have the title on him because he was in Japan. So, I mean, he's back now. G1 is over. So Takeshita wins. And this match directly affects or directly correlates with the main event. Because I think Kyle Fletcher moves on to bigger and better things that he is destined for. So I got Takeshita winning and becoming the new champion again.
Well, considering you saw the Protostar 1 year ago around this time, challenging for the World Championship, I mean, you're not too far off. All right, that being said, he's got a new champion, and he picked the Alpha, Konosuke Takeshita. And I saw Dave, your cat was nodding, Ash is thinking. So, Dave, let's go to you next. You apparently share the same outlook as Nick, but go ahead and say your piece.
I think Nick has hit it on the head about being in the G1, but it's surprising how in one federation, if you're gone for a month, they don't take a title off you, and they did here. But I think the downfall is going to be Okada and Fletcher going to cost themselves, and it'll be Takeshita picking up the pieces, which will cause more friction between Fletcher and Okada they keep teasing, just like when they were teasing Takeshita leaving.
Beat. All right. And I'll just go ahead and start with the L-shaped perpendicular side here to finish it out and say, I absolutely agree. I think this has to be a boiling point for Kyle Fletcher, who's being undermined by Don Callis, even though, again, he owes a lot to Don Callis in the opportunities he's gotten and where he is. And to JJ's merit, he's actually correct. But it's also one of those things right now that Takeshita, it was a short month consecutive long tournament. Now he's back here, still triple contact, of course, the DDT and New Japan, still NWA World Television Champion, but he could balance all three companies. And while he had the title, he was constantly defending it on Collision and Dynamite. With the outlook of Okada or Kyle Fletcher going on to other things, and I do echo some of what Nick says, but also considering the main event and the history at the Rainmaker for both men, don't rule that out either. And he never got his shot for the AEW World Championship against Darby Allin. So just saying, do the family business. I do think there's other things in store for both Kyle Fletcher and Okada, which leads me to why Konosuke Takeshita, because of the champ. I got the Alpha getting it back as well. All right, let's go around the other side now. We'll start with the bottom right-hand corner. Ash, I saw you thinking. Of course, we talk about our conclusion of the G1 climax being brought up, Konosuke Takeshita. So do you echo the same sentiment as your fellow Canadian here, or do you have a different outlook when it comes to family turmoil and this AEW National Champion?
I want to say, like, holy crap, for some reason I thought Takeshita was going to win the G1 again. Thank God that did not happen.
Right.
I mean, because I would have some choice words and opinions about that.
I'm sure you would.
Yes, because especially also in the B block too, because goddamn, I would not have liked two AEW wrestlers being in the finals, but we didn't get that, thank goodness.
Breathe.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I feel you, but again, that is a reality you don't have to worry about. So continue. Back to reality.
I know, right? Thank goodness, right?
Yes, it just had to literally get that off her chest and have the freaking helicopter drop the 10,000 gallons of water on that forest fire that was boiling and spreading.
I have Takeshita winning as well.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about, like, what would happen if Fletcher loses the title, and I was like, he can be slotted elsewhere. He and Okada can feud, finish up where they left off, pick up where they left off, and their feud does not need the title. So, have Takeshita win. I hate to say this about Takeshita in AEW. It seems like this is where it comes across as to me, they don't know what to do with Takeshita if he doesn't have a title.
Yeah.
Anybody else feel that way, or is it just me?
No, pretty much most of his career outside, when he came in here earlier and he was being tested by the AEW roster, has been concerning a championship or a tournament that involves a championship. You're very much on point. Then again, he is Japanese, and in a lot of New Japan, kind of the same way.
Yeah, I'm just pointing that out there because I don't have any issues with it, but it is going to get to the point where if one person is constantly in the title picture, it's going to be like how people are towards Charlotte Flair, John Cena, insert other wrestler here.
Yeah,
and I do not want that. And I do not want that happening to Takeshita, where he outwears his welcome in the title scene. That's what I was trying to get at.
Now, again, the valuable wrestler is only as valuable as the champion that they hold on to and what they do outside when they lose. And again, here, he had his excursion, G1 Climax. So again, does that really count? I don't think so. Much to Nick's point, this is a buffer. And what do I say about triple threats? Buffer, fall person. The fact of the matter is, though, that Konosuke, he's beating Okada, and Konosuke, to my knowledge, has a win over Kyle Fletcher, but again, it hasn't been since Rampage. And the record with Konosuke and Kyle is 1-1 now. Just saying, in singles action. So it wouldn't surprise me here if Okada's like, bitch, gets run out of the ring, and Konosuke decks him with the freaking Discus Lariat and Raging Fire and pins the Protostar. Because I actually got Kyle Fletcher being pinned here, only furthering that fuel to the fire with him and Okada. Because I do think Okada is bound and determined to fucking beat Kyle Fletcher, which he hasn't yet. Again, little subplots in the Don Callis family history, wins and losses, and this story. Hey, look, there's that word again. But at least this time it's not being fed down my throat or being over-exaggerated or actually feeling lame. Anyway, thank you, Ash. Walter, your points. What you got saying? Buffer, fall person, champion. What you got?
You guys know how big I've been on Kyle Fletcher, and I said he was going to be in the world title scene before he got injured. He would have been world champion already.
Of course.
I think he retains here, and here's why. I think there's going to be a miscommunication with Okada and him, or Okada hits Takeshita with the Rainmaker. Kyle Fletcher gets one over him, throws him over the top rope, and pins Takeshita. Then there's going to be a rematch at All Out one-on-one with Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. That is when Takeshita wins the title. He'll beat Kyle Fletcher one-on-one because Okada screws him. He screws Fletcher out of it. That then frees Fletcher to get kicked out of the family, feud with Okada for a while, and then next year he's going to somehow be the world champion. He's going to go on this babyface run and become world champion. So I feel like this is going to lead to All Out with the one-on-one rematch. Okada's going to then screw him, and then that's where they're going with this.
Wow. I actually really like that subplot, honestly. All right, but you actually have Kyle Fletcher retaining.
Mm-hmm.
Well, triple threats, all you got to do is be a thief in the night, find your moment, pin somebody for 3 seconds. It's his tail. It's as old as this freaking stipulation itself. All right, thank you for that. Well, that being said, we'll wrap it up with JJ here and see if he shares the same type of brain with a unique storytelling there. Much like Walter, or does he have a different identity in mind for the Don Callis family's top 2 players left? The top 3 of the original family, being perfectly honest. Hi, JJ. So, JJ, what do you think here? You got some unique perspectives where we basically have had Konosuke regain, Kyle retain. Nobody picked Okada to win, though. It almost feels like Okada might be the fall person here. What's your pick?
See, I was already accused earlier today of being selfish.
What do you mean?
Walter accusing me of being selfish earlier. The reason I want Kyle to retain is because I'm going to House of Glory next week and he's wrestling Amazing Red.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I want to see Kyle Fletcher with that belt when I present him with his Male Breakout Star of the Year award.
Okay.
From our awards last year.
Okay. I see where this is.
But if I have to go with my brain, which I'm accused of not using all that much, I got to go to Takeshita here.
Oh.
But selfishly, I want Fletcher to retain.
Do you want the point or do you want the moment? That's the question.
Yeah, I know.
So
I'm doing AEW is one of the leagues I'm doing good in. So I need the point. I need the point. I need to keep going there. AEW and TNA, I'm doing better than WWE and my NXT, which, by the way, we need to figure out a way to do a Heatwave predictions.
I'm just going to do it tomorrow. I'm just going to do it tomorrow night. There, it's official. Don't worry about it, bro.
For sure. Okay.
Yep.
But
same time.
So
you got Konosuke then.
Yeah.
You know I do. You know I do.
Unfortunately, I gotta go with Takeshita. And I hate that I'm saying unfortunately, because I do love all 3 of these men.
Again, this is going to be a match of the night, and it looks like someone else decided to be all in with us. So while we're not in the Casino Gauntlet, where it's the most random thing since Royal Rumble, it's like, oh, you kind of know what's going to happen. Let's go ahead and bring him out of the manacle. Let's bring Charles Schultz in and get his thoughts. Thank you for that, JJ, as he's got the alpha. First and foremost, Charles, welcome to Simply Predicting. Truly, we're going all in. Been a while since I've had a sensational 7. Charles, your thoughts on the Triple Threat AEW International Championship? Kyle Fletcher, Kazuchika Okada, Konosuke Takeshita. Go ahead.
First of all, it's good to be here. And second, sorry, I had to. Sorry, JJ.
Renegade approved, maybe. Talk to you later.
Okay, there you go. Thumbs up.
They give the people what they want. Anyway, continue, Charles.
Exactly. And I'm going with a new champion. It's going to be Konosuke.
Okay, I was about to say, if he said Okada, he would have really been the odd one out.
I'm not that crazy. Yet.
Okay.
I'm the odd one out on this one. I like
about to say.
Listen, Walter's the more one out.
But true, but he didn't say Okada. That's the thing. No one said Okada. Amanda,
we're not crazy.
Himself as champion. Champion for like 2,000 days in New Japan.
Okada's gonna watch us all not say his name, and then when he clicks off, he's gonna go, bitch.
I've been called worse.
Probably.
I've been called worse. I'll just flip him off British style. All right. That being said, it's a mix here between Konosuke and Kyle. And about to say, not on screen, unless you're doing it in the chat, you would be the super odd one out. Anyway, good job, everybody. I cannot wait to fucking call this match. All right. That being said, a lot of different ways this could go, but again, how you know. Let's go ahead and talk about this year's men's casino gauntlet match for a guaranteed world title shot now. How perfect that Charles joins the madness, considering this is the match of madness and the only match that's not involving a championship on the line. It's for a championship opportunity down the line. And the man on the right literally did that last year at the most opportune time, the year's end, at World's End. The rest is history. Nonetheless, it is once again that fantastic craziness that is the Casino Gauntlet match. Who enters the fray when the clock counts down to 0, and who gets the first decision rendered to win the whole thing and seize opportunity for the title. Right now, we know that MJF is number 2, and Andrade and Idolo are current AEW national champion. Oh, excuse me. MJF, the actual, real, true champion, holding the Triple B, delusional to the ultimate extreme. And Andrade Idolo, of course, everyone's favorite right now to take a selfie with, and the brand new AEW national champion. They are number 1 and number 2. MJF, of course, won this last year. Andrade Idolo, I think he's airing this for the first time ever. Other names involved include not limited to so far who have put their name out there: Commander, Tommaso Ciampa, Speedball Mike Bailey, Nick Wayne, Dunkster Mark Davis, and even Chris Jericho. For those that don't know, this match is literally as many as maybe 21. I haven't seen it go that high. I've seen it come pretty close. People come out at random intervals with a 10-second countdown, and it literally ends when the first pinfall submission is rendered in the ring, and that can happen at any time. So enjoy this madness and go get a pint of Guinness while you're at it, because you could call this while you're drunk or sober. I feel like this is going to be the most fun-filled match for Walter and the most fun for Ash, considering what we saw last year in Texas. And here's the beauty of this multi-person match. You get 2 picks because it's going to be an absolute incredible fray of double digits. So time for everybody to really go all out and all in on this, and who you think will be a future challenger, maybe not the next one, but a future challenger for the AEW World Championship. Let's start throwing names, either that I mentioned or who you think could show up, or maybe another debut, and see if you called it right. How you'll know. Charles, you're the newest one here, so we'll start off with you. What are 2 names that you have as your permanent winner for the men's casino gauntlet?
Yeah, just gotta throw me right into the fire.
Yeah, why not?
Of course. It really
Primary worth
depends.
2, secondary worth 1. Good luck.
I know. But it really depends on when this match takes place on the card, for one reason, for one of my picks. And it would tie it to the result of one other match. I might see somebody that I expect someone who competes twice on this night. Who will lose the first match, but will win this one. I might be crazy enough to see Moxley show up in this. For one reason, Will Ospreay. Just saying, that's my number 1 pick. It depends on time on the card.
Okay, and your second?
Second is MJF. I'm in the dark. However, I'm calling it out. Ilya Dragunov going to show up in this match, though. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry on that.
Please. Yes, please. Please. Okay, all right. Well, I'd like the honorable mention. Just as a freaking surprise, considering the last time we were here in London, we got Ricochet. So, I mean, you know, people do show up in these things as a debut. And again, the rest is history, considering what JJ just did, considering his social media epics. Again, people, be better. Be a human, not an AI robot or a cyberbully. If you know, you'll know. How you'll know? Because I know, because I'm antisocial. Thank you, Charles. That being said, Jon Moxley and MJF are names considered. That's his primary and secondary. All right, let's go around the horn and see what the rest of you all think. We're just going to go Dave, I'm going to go to you next. What are your 2 picks to win the men's casino gauntlet? Do they echo Charles, or are you on a whole different wavelength?
Well, Charles mentioned one name I'm going to mention. My first pick is Andrade because he's been the one that's been teased to be in this title for ever since he was still in the Callis family. He's been saying championship. I think he's going to be my number one pick. And my second pick is the surprise entrance, Ilya Dragunov.
Oh my gosh. All right. So we got Ilya Dragunov.
I'm going to go out on a limb with that.
Well, I mean, hey, you're going all in. And a Casino Gauntlet, it literally might be the best chance for anybody to try and surpass me in the league or get one up closer to me. JJ. That being said, let's go to Walter next, actually, on this. Walter, what do you think here? Ilya Dragunov, John Moxley, MJF, and Andrade El Idolo. 4 very interesting names to consider, considering 3 previously, of course, are heavily been involved or influenced the AEW World Championship picture, whether in pursuit or holding it. So, what do you think?
I do think, I don't know how long the gauntlet is, but I think El Idolo is going to run the gauntlet. That was my first pick. And for the second one, just because I can and it's random, I'm going with my boy Bandito.
Oh, wow. Okay, so he's got somebody else working double time. Well, considering, plenty of time to recover from whatever the frick that gauntlet thing from earlier is going to be for the trios titles. And Bandito has been many people's
but that's
wrestler of the
way
year.
on the buy-in. He's got plenty of time to recover.
That's fair. I'll give you that. Bandito, I like it. I love the fact that, again, right now, nobody pretty much is exactly the same. This is awesome. And that's another reason why I love this match. It's not just the same damn couple of names. All right, thank you, Walter. Ash, let's go to you next. What do you think about this? Bandito, that's a fair shout. Also, previous challenge to the AEW World Championship against MJF. Previously was involved in the Owen. And again, he very well could be a guy that might be eyeing to be 2 belts, as of course he is still our world champion.
So for my primary pick, I have MJF. And for the secondary pick, I too have someone pull double duty. I think Kyle Fletcher is going to be in this match.
All right. Much like Christian Cage did, freaking, and we all saw what that led to. Son of a bitch. Still pissed me off he did that, but Kyle, I mean, again, give him the damn shot. All right. Thank you very much. Let's go to JJ next here. JJ, a lot of food for thought. Future AEW World Championship potential, an opportunity here. Names we know, how you'll know, versus names we don't know. What do you guys say? What are your 2 picks?
So my number 2 pick is an interesting one because on the surface, it seems like I'm throwing it away. But I could see, due to the fact that it was just a handshake agreement, Heyman Adam Page.
The silence speaks volumes on people's reactions.
I was going to say crickets. I haven't been the biggest supporter of Heyman.
I think we all know that.
But hear me out here, because again, it was a handshake agreement. Nothing was contractual, and the deal was that if he lost, he couldn't challenge for the title. It never said he couldn't be in a match where a title opportunity was on the line.
Fair.
It would be like having the stipulation, but you still get thrown in Money in the Bank. You still get thrown in the Royal Rumble. You still get thrown in the Chamber just because we need a main event body. And then what happens if that person actually wins? I think it could be something interesting to explore.
Huh. Smart Mark Stern would have a hell of a legal case against that. I'm just saying.
I've been one of the biggest people to talk about their storytelling, giving them credit for this year and how it's gotten better, but criticizing their storytelling in the past. This would be a great opportunity to tell a good story. What happens if a person who's not supposed to challenge for a title, wins a title opportunity because they were thrown into a match where the winner gets a title shot. And they won.
Especially the expense of MJF, much like he did back at
Mhm.
the original Casino Gauntlet match or
And
Battle
let
Royal
him pin
2019.
MJF, the man who took it from him at Revolution this year.
Callbacks.
Buckshot Lariat, 1, 2, 3.
Bang. Wow, JJ. And again, the reason it's cricket is because for those that don't know, if you're tuning in for the first time, you want to get one of the most adamant opinions of the Hangman, go check out the Rank Wrestling JJ Williams in the archives. It's all elites to the predicting. Anyway, continue, JJ.
So-
that's
but
a
that's-
wild secondary.
That's why I'm only putting it as my second, because it's only 1 point.
Yes.
My first pick is Kyle Fletcher. Because I agree with the fact that he's going to lose the one title and then win the opportunity for the world title so he can go against Ospreay.
And control when he can do it instead of just going all out like he did last year. And much to JJ's point, that's why as soon as someone said Kyle, I was like, damn it, so they are thinking like me. Yep, Kyle's my primary. I think you get a first time win at the Casino Gauntlet, and I think you do pull the trigger closer to a brand new AEW World Champion of a younger factor. Kyle Fletcher's been the guy that we have seen the evolution of for the last calendar year, if not since joining the Don Callis family. Ever since he spiked Will Ospreay in 2024 at Wrestle Dream and costing the AEW National Title in that triple threat, going full in on the Don Callis family, it's been never been upscale for the Proto Star to the point now everyone says his full name, and he's been a notorious TNT champion, incredible opportunities on pay-per-view, and now he's the AEW National Champion, and now he's here where he chopped his teeth close to Rev Pro on AEW's biggest show of the year. So Kyle's definitely my first, but the secondary, again, do I be fun with it? Do I be serious with it? What do I do? How you'll know? And I saw your hand, by the way, because it sounded like you wanted to say some of my interjections. So I'm going to pause myself real quick and let JJ speak. Go ahead.
And I'd let Kyle do it at Dynasty. It is his dynasty to usurp Ospreay and become champion.
Well, bold booking. Considering Dynasty and namesake aside, that show's not considered one of the biggest. And I figure Kyle would love to do on the bigger stages, but I like that a lot, actually. All right. But that being said, as far as my second, Andrade, MJF, they're going to screw each other. Let's call it as it is, all right? With the MJF delusional as the true champion, constantly at the expense of Andrade El Idolo, who was the one that kind of like turned his whole life upside down in Death's Door at Forbidden Door. These two are going to go one-on-one finally. Let's keep in mind, this hasn't been happened yet, and they've literally been beefing with each other since he almost cost him his Triple B in House of Glory, should you all forgot back in March. It's just another one of those things, though. Do you need to see a former AEW World Champion with this opportunity again through this namesake? Like Swerve, like Heyman, like Jon Moxley? Honestly, no, I don't think so. Part of me actually wants to go a little bit different, considering a man I want to see challenge for the AEW World Championship. I don't think he's going to win, but I think it's going to be a hell of a match. I can't say enough good things about Claudio Castagnoli. Every time I want to see this man reach that next stage, he just can't get there. If he can't beat Jon Moxley in the Continental Cup and he can't beat him for the world title, theoretically, maybe he's got a chance not being involved in a tournament or number one contendership and just throwing people over the top and turning this into his own stage. We don't know what Death Rise and we don't know what degree that Trios Gauntlet Roulette, whatever they're namesaking it, on the buy-in's going to be, and we don't know when this match is going to be. But one of the most complete wrestlers that I have yet to see win a world title outside Ring of Honor that should be given a chance to it, I think is Claudio Castagnoli. Let's keep him out of a tournament situation for once, considering chances are Continental Classic, end of the year, probably going to be in there, probably going to lose. Ash, he's the Ishii of tournaments right now in AEW. I hate saying that, but basically that's what he is. So I'm going to go on a little bit farther of a tangent here and say that Claudio Castagnoli is going to be my secondary. Death Rise against the world, but I do think there's always that game one upsmanship with Claudio and Moxley particularly. We saw how close Claudio was to being Jon Moxley Continental Cup. Still failed. Incapacitated. Rear naked bulldog choke. So my picks are Kyle Fletcher, and Clara Castagnoli, just to be different and explore something different. But also, I think it's deserving. All right. Well, that being said, I go to the person that loves this match the most last. Hi, Nick. Let's go ahead and get your 2 picks on your favorite match. Casino Gauntlet, who you got? Go ahead.
The primary will be Kyle Fletcher, and secondary will be it's a toss up between MJF or Swerve, but I'm gonna say MJF.
Considering Swerve just lost to Ospreay at the Finals Forbidden Door, do you really run that this close or have this man back in the fray with full control?
Well, you have to remember, and this is what is key, is there is no expiry date that I am aware of for that contract.
That is correct, as far as we know.
So realistically, and that's what I mean, it makes sense for Kyle to win it because Kyle can hold it as long as you want. But at the same time, you also can give it to MJF and use it more so as a and I know that we don't really do that here. But if the ratings aren't what they are with Ospreay at the helm as the champion, you could do, and you have to put the title back on MJF to boost some ratings. You do it. So I have MJF as my secondary. But to the point of Dragunov, yeah, I do see Dragunov in this match. I do see one more debut in Mr. Farley. And I do see a return in Buddy Matthews. I think we're gonna get.
Ooh, I like that one right there. Buddy Matthews and
guess-
Kyle Fletcher, 2 Australians. Just duke it out.
Yeah, but I do think we're gonna get Shamo making a debut.
Sheamus!
Well, he's a free agent. You don't necessarily need to sign him to. Remember, this is a match that anybody can show up.
That's
So
true.
he doesn't technically need to be signed. So I mean, you can have him in the Gauntlet. You can have Dragunov there, a returning Buddy Matthews. And I'm gonna give you one out of left field. Who knows if we see Keith Lee? Because it was reported that Keith Lee was cleared to medically return, and he did have stuff planned out, but they did nix it. So do we see Keith Lee make a return? So this match, yeah.
All right. Well, I love the fact that you really explored a lot of fun options in this, in a match that, from a more so quantity of booking standpoint, you might grind your gears towards. But when it comes to the quality aspect of it, you clearly have a lot that you expect from it, and you are invested in it. So I appreciate that. And those names, Buddy Matthews is one that also, again, I can't wait for him to return from injury. That's a good layup too. So, Nick, well done. All right. Well, that being said, that's everyone's outlook. But Charles, I did see your hair, but quick, what you guys say before we move on?
Sheamus has 90 days. He can't be signing with October, after October 1st.
He wasn't released. His contract expired.
No, he still has his 90 days.
I mean, nobody might forget it, though. I mean, just look at how well that worked out for Tommy Yen. I'm just
The only
saying.
reason, the only way you can have 90 days is if your contract if you're released from your contract, not if your contract expires.
No, Sheamus was released.
This is accurate. If the contract expires, even if you're released, if the contract the date of the contract expires during that 90 days, then you become a free agent.
There you go. Take note, folks. Timestamp it if you want to know how contracts work, unless they decide to flip it on its head and freaking turn the system upside down. All right. Well, that being said, thank you, everybody. So there's your names, folks. If you got other names and aspects, let us know in the chat. And again, remember, your predictions also matter too. Fill out the form. And of course, the form will be final 12:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday afternoon. All right. Well, that being said, let's go ahead and see if you bow down or if you want to pint and want to brawl with the birds who don't give a fuck. I love this match, and I love these teams. Let's talk about the AEW Women's Tag Team Championships. Divine Dominion. Megan Bain, the Megasis that ascends down from Athens. And the deity queen from Hades. Of course, the ever statuesque Lena Cross. The absolutely unstoppable, virtually undefeated Divine Dominion taking on the Brawling Buds. Alex Windsor, current AEW Strong Women's Champion, and former AEW Women's World Champion, Jamie Hayter. Two proud Brits with their own style, love for drinking a pint and throwing their fists up against anyone or any shit. And of course, Divine Dominion, they suffered their first loss in 6-woman trios action back at Grand Slam when our semi-main event had fallout with Willow pinning Mercedes Mone. Still was the first-time loss for Divine Dominion, and they've been up against the Birds ever since, who have called out these champs wondering where they are and are you afraid of us? After a back-and-forth weeks of sneak attacks from behind and nearly sending Megan Bayne on her own razor's edge down to hell for the Timekeepers area, there has definitely been constant brawlings and battles and one-upsmanship all the way across Glasgow, Scotland, which now culminates in Wembley Stadium. So straight up, do we see the Bloods receive the gold, or does Divine Dominion force another team? And honestly, I think the last team they have yet to beat, let alone face for the first time ever, bow down. Is it a reset? Or is it more of the same? Does Divine Dominion retain domination? Or do we party with the Birds like it's 1969 without the Beatles on the jukebox, but all the Guinness that they can handle? Let's go around the horn and see what you all think about this match. And yes, I love the fact that, again, I set this as after the Gauntlet and also maybe opening the second half. Considering, again, I want you all to consider things here. Jamie Hayter, Alex Windsor, they're native to the UK scene, just saying. And you are looking at Mrs. Bruv. All right, let's go around the horn and see what everybody thinks about this. And I think it's only fitting, first and foremost, we start with advocates of women's wrestling. So I'm actually going to start with JJ as an advocate for women's wrestling and tag team wrestling. So JJ, Alex Windsor, Jamie Hayter, I've seen them fight one another almost to 30 minutes in Pro Wrestling Eve. Their only ever singles encounter. I've seen Alex Windsor, Jamie Hayter's growth all the way from Pro Wrestling Eve. I've seen, of course, Jamie Hayter through Stardom. So again, I could talk all night long about these two proud Brits and women's wrestling advocates and trailblazers. But what we have witnessed in Lena Cross and Megan Bayne through Independence, Australia, GCW, AEW, it's something that has been absolutely unmatched. But I feel like this has got to be the one match we got to be unanimous on. So go ahead and set up the field, Filibuster. What do you got to say regarding the Inter Women's Tag Team Championships?
Well, despite being an advocate for women's wrestling, I really hate that you came to me first on this one.
And why is that?
Because I feel like we're going to be unanimous. And
so why not?
There's a match coming up later that I really want to be first on.
Oh, okay. Then hold on. I'm going to pause you because you literally put that on the ether, and I think the audience wants to hear that too. So we are going to go then to not a Brit, but a Canadian. And I don't think she's from British Columbia, or I don't think she's French Canadian or British Canadian. But hi, Ash. And I'm about to say, you have a certain phrase for big women. So, I mean, this is right up your alley. And again, you're on the call for it. So go ahead, set up the field. Let's see if we're unanimous. It's on you. What do you got to say about the Inter Women's Tag Team Championships? The Renegade folks will be engaged come our other women's match of the night. That is our semi-main. I also want to point out here before Ash speaks, Mone had this idea for Divine Mone. Just saying. Go ahead, Ash. It's on you.
I mean, Mone does need bodyguards, and I can't think of two better bodyguards than Divine Dominion, because, see those two women? Goddamn.
6'1" and 6'2", I believe.
Goddamn.
You're
That's all
right.
I say about that.
I mean, I'm with you there for all the right reasons as a fan of women's wrestling. Damn it. AEW, where the women have the beef.
I mean, you can, be a good wrestler and look pretty kicking someone's ass, too. I'm just saying.
And you can be hardcore as well. You don't have to be alternative.
No, exactly. Like, different styles for different folks, I suppose.
Exactly. Continue, though. You already know what style I'm about.
Y'all know how I feel about the English. Like, goddamn. Even English women, too, mind you.
Oh, the women.
I'm looking forward to this match. This is going to be a female equivalent of big meaty men slapping meat, because that's what this is. This is just going to be a drag out, beat down pub fight, and I'm looking forward to this shit.
You sound drunk already on it.
I have the birds. I have the birds one in this. Because as much as I love Divine Dominion and how dominant they are, there's not much more feuds and matches we can get out of them, but we can do a lot more with the Brawling Birds.
Yeah. The Birds for the win! All right,
Bird
thank
is
you,
the
Ash.
word. Bird is the word.
You know what? This is the one time I will allow that, but I'm pretty sure that is not a soundtrack from England. So again, null and void. Thank you, Ash. That being said, everybody rise up. And do you agree with Ash, or does someone dare to say a different opinion before I move on, or do we all want to drink to the Birds taking the win? Go on, what? Wow. Okay. Who's to say every match? Who said any match is going to be unanimous, right? Well, so much for that thought, JJ. All right, Dave, I saw your hand first. Then we'll go to Charles. Go ahead. You got Divine Dominion?
No, I'm agreeing with Ash, but I'm just saying it's the version. It's the version of, I call it, of Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, the women version.
Okay.
And I did want to throw out something about our last discussion because I looked it up. Sheamus's contract, he left because he was offered one of those pay cuts. His contract expires October 1st. So he is. Yeah, so he is out of it. I wanted to let that know, but I definitely agree with Ash. I think this is definitely going to be a clean sweep here.
You're all wrong. The winner's going to be me because I get to see these four bitches bang and go at it. I'm the real winner.
That makes two of us, my dude. That makes two of us.
As much as I hate to agree with the bad outtakes of this panel, this match is everything they're saying. And we're in the UK. That's a normal thing. What the hell? All right, thank you. JJ, I see your hand. Then I saw Charles earlier. No offense. What do you got to say, JJ? Bloody hell.
Let me preface what I'm about to say by saying I am not saying this to try to make your blood boil by any stretch of the imagination.
What?
The only reason this match is on the main card is because they're putting the belts on the fucking Brawling Birds. Otherwise, it would be on the damn buy-in. If it was any other team, any other match, or Divine Dominion was retaining, it would be on the fucking buy-in. The only reason it's on the main card is because they're putting the straps on the Birds.
Strong case, considering the track record of pay-per-views. I'll give it that. I mean, again, looking at the booking, we always question, again, sometimes the booking of why this is here, why this is there, So I'll give you that.
But yes, officially, Alex Windsor and Becky Hayter are walking away with the titles.
Okay, first off, you put some damn respect on Jamie Hayter, all right? Because as far as
I will not, and you will not make me. I will give you Statlander. I may not feel that Stat is where it's at because 9 times out of 10 they put her up against someone I like more. But god damn it, Daphne from Scooby-Doo, Becky fucking Hayter is gonna get some hatred from me. You can sip on the haterade if you want, but Jamie Lynch is a whole other story.
Jamie Lynch, wow. How many freaking red-haired analogies in and out of wrestling you're going to do against Jamie Hayter, who could be the best thing to come out of a 70s retro sitcom if she was in one? I love the fact she's all natural and doesn't give a flying fuck what people think otherwise, including you. And honestly, I don't give a flying fuck what you think about that too, because at the end of the day, Jamie Hayter, still more notorious to me to enjoy and engage with watching in the ring than the man. And at this point, the man, is she just trying to team with Stephanie about keys? Are we going to get like some Kim Possible Shigo dynamic here? What the fuck ever. I guess that's entertainment. Against Liv Morgan, the most annoying thing to hear on the mic. Sounds like a teenager. All right. An adolescent teenager. All right. Thank you, JJ. Okay. So that being said, we got the Brawling Birds. You're going to trigger me. I'm going to fucking fight back. It's like I'll never believe in Chase U. It'll never freaking give Jamie Hayter the respect. It's okay to be indifferent. It's okay to have disagreements. That's how somehow we freaking cooperate and conglomerate and freaking, interact with each other. And that's what makes this family special versus anything else on the internet, despite how little I deal with these guys outside this forum, thankfully. All right. Thank you, JJ. Charles, I did see your hand. What you guys say before I move on? And damn fucking right, Brawling Birds for the win. I can't wait to see how much haterade is unleashed and how many of their mates they have at ringside to celebrate, including the bruv's son, considering Alex Windsor, wrestler, and mother. The two hardest jobs, I think, right now out there, outside being a damn doctor. All right, Charles, I gotta say real quick.
Well, I'll sit on that island on my own.
What?
Yep.
Okay, explain. I can't believe it. You got Divine Dominion retaining.
I wouldn't. It would be crazy. I'm probably crazy.
You are crazy.
But nothing's out of the realm of possibility.
Well,
how they can be, Noah? We all seen it multiple times over.
This is out of the realm of possibility there, Charles. I'm sorry to tell you.
Wow, when Nick says that, that's how... Who did that? Ash!
That was not my doing. My hands were tied. I was eating my
on copyright. I'm gonna fucking delete that, you son of a bitch!
No, you know who did it before you asked that question.
I was trying to get in the benefit of the doubt, but I should have known better by the freaking filibustering pop culture loving level buffoon.
Hey, JJ, maybe you should have Peter Griffin sing it, "Bird is the word," while you're at it.
You do that, I'm removing you off this screen despite the fact that you're at it, because fuck Family Guy. That's one of the things wrong with America. Much like American Dad. You're going to give me a whole different stuff. Get back to wrestling and fucking get away from the damn songs of the bygone era. Charles, back to your crazy-ass point where you're getting a better possibility of an STD than Divine Dominion returning.
I have a better chance. I have a better chance of winning the Canadian lottery and the Powerball in the same year than Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor losing this match.
Okay, first off, how big is that lottery versus America? That's a whole different conversation. Charles, finish your thought. Fucking hell.
I can't. I'm trying to, but I was not prepared for "Bird is the word" until out of nowhere, and then I almost get him.
Fucking idiots.
Brian Center. That threw me off.
Charles got broke. Great job. All right. With that being said, it's 6 in favor of the Birds, and 1 picked Divine Dominion, and the rest of the world could give a flying fuck what Charles thinks, because I'm pretty sure he literally will be the only one person in this world outside the champions about freaking retaining. Okay. Bloody hell. And fuck JJ for doing that, and also freaking ruining my freaking psyche. Damn friggin' bygone song. You're better off playing the Beatles. At least it's more friggin' concurrent with where the fucking at, or friggin' Oasis. Speaking of which, as I try and bring things back on track, it was the beginning for the first time, folks. For absolutely, I'm at the end of the match because I moderate the gaggle of fools. That being said, let's go ahead and talk about Nigel McGuinness trying to take the Continental Cup and the Continental Championship from Jon Moxley. For those that don't know, this is how truly defines what professional wrestling is at the root. One-on-one action, no seconds at ringside, and truly it comes down to who out-wrestles the other. Jon Moxley, of course, who has been the Continental Champion now since last year's Continental Classic, this new summer tradition that has been brought forward by AEW now, called the Continental Cup, testing Jon Moxley right now, where he is literally basically been vacated of the title. It is held in abeyance until he actually wins this. And we right now, by the way, folks, in case you're tuning in, all I have left is our semi-main and main after this. And again, the reason I saved all these, Brits and moments. And honestly, they're the biggest 4 matches on this card outside that triple threat. Just saying. That being said, Nigel McGuinness, who was last time here in jolly old England, challenged Zack Sabre Jr. for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Previous challenger, Lee Moriarty, for our Pure Championship, wants to achieve a dream of a young boy, bringing it home to England for the first time ever. So does Nigel McGuinness shock the world? And do we finally see somebody get the better of the Death Rider and remove him, much like this graphic, his grip for the Continental title and win the first ever Continental Cup? I just want to point out before y'all think this is unanimous and simple, Dustin Rhodes won the TNT title last year on All In. And he's from Texas. Nigel is from England. Put that in perspective. Let's go around the horn and see what y'all think about this bloody Techers affair that is ahead. And when it comes to Techers traditional wrestling, if anyone's bigger than it besides me and Ash, it's Walter. Which means, Walter, you're first. Does Nigel achieve what many might think is the unthinkable and win the Continental Cup and the Continental Championship? Does he bring it home? Or does Jon Moxley prove once again why it's Death Riders versus the world and defeats the world once again?
No, I think Moxley retains. I don't think Nigel ever got a proper goodbye, and I think this is why they booked this. I think John retains, and after you're gonna see Nigel put his boots in the ring and officially retire in front of the home crowd so he can get the biggest pop of the night. That's why I think they did this. It's to Nigel to actually say goodbye to the ring in front of his home country and his hometown. So you're gonna see him leave his boots in the ring at the end of this.
All right, so you got Jon Moxley holding on to the Continental Championship, maybe all the way to the Continental Classic. And stay tuned, folks. As always, we will be covered here at the Simple Bible Studios. Thank you for that. He has the champion retaining his grip on the gold and winning the Continental Cup. Let's go around the horn and see what y'all think about this. All right, Bloody Techers, you got a shirt that freaking says it. Let's go to you next. Nigel McGuinness, Jon Moxley, first time ever. With a prone ankle, by the way, might I add. Kudos to him for surviving Kyle O'Reilly Wednesday night in Glasgow. I thought Kyle had his number. But Kyle also previously had his fight with Jon Moxley. I didn't see that rematch happening either. Overcoming Hechicero as well and Katsuyori Shibata. What a hell of a gauntlet to get to this point. Do you think that Walter is on point with this? Is this Nigel McGuinness' swan song or one last big moment and accomplishment?
If I speak, I will be in trouble.
What does that mean?
You know what I mean.
All right.
But no, in all seriousness, I think Moxley's retaining. I don't see him losing that title until the Continental Classic, and this is going to be a good match. And if this is Nigel's last match, what a match to go out on.
Right. All right. That being said, you want to hear more of that actual take? Stay tuned for her coverage and watch along and analysis. Remember, she's color. I'm play-by-play. I'm worried. Thank you, Ash. Nick, let's go to you next because it sounds like you're about to hit your deadline, considering where you're at, and also fatigue is a real factor. So go ahead and send your piece towards Jon Moxley's Continental Cup chances and Nigel McGuinness' chances of winning this championship.
Yeah. For me, it's 1 a.m. in the morning here on the East Coast, so it's about past my bedtime.
That's fair. I respect that.
I'm gonna say there's too many. There's gonna be too many new champions being crowned, so we need some retainers. I got Moxley retaining here. And I'm gonna just really quickly. I don't think the last two matches need really any explanation. I'm gonna kind of jump ahead a little bit. Mone wins and Will wins. I love y'alls. I will see y'alls later.
Good night to the king
Good night,
of
Nick.
food, and we will see you next time here in the Simple Bible Studios. Thank you very much. And now we're down to 6. Some people, they can't handle that insomnia or they just need that rest. And again, considering his commute to work and what time he needs to do it, I got nothing but respect. All right, thank you, Nick. And that being said, he's got Jon Moxley retaining as well. All right, that being said, Dave, what do you think about this? Now, McGuinness, former Ring of Honor world champion, pure champion, was in like a 12-year abeyance away from wrestling due to how much damage was done to his body and to his mind and the business that took more from him than what he was putting into what he loved. And ironically enough, when did Nigel come back to pro wrestling? Right here in jolly old England in Wembley Stadium during the Casino Gauntlet, just saying. And here we are at its next inception, and people might be calling it his career conclusion. Do you agree with that sentiment?
Walter had a great point because really, if you think about it, he got this far because this was going to be his swan song. They mentioned how he had only like 6 matches this year. When he was wrestling with his bum leg, the last match, and that one guy had 6 matches in 1 week. I kind of think this is going to be a great match to go out on. He's facing Moxley, who's really still at the top of his game. He's not going to, and he's definitely winning. He's going to carry it, I believe, like Ash said, until the Classic. Because it's like Moxley usually has the title on his shoulder too, since he's been around. So, but Nigel will have a great showing, and he'll go back to commentating.
All right, fair enough. I'm a little bit torn because, again, Wembley Stadium is the biggest show. It is his home. And I do wonder how many moments outweigh one another? How many do you need for one show, your biggest show? Is it truly a night of all the Brits? To the point made earlier, we just crowned the Brawling Birds as brand new AEW Women's Tag Team Champions, except for one person. And here we are with another Brit. And again, Will Ospreay, Nigel McGuinness, they had that unique sit down, looking at one another, figured about, can they do this? And the only way you're going to be able to overcome your own mindset, if you already think that you have won, which encouraged Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay, of course, encouraged by Nigel McGuinness, Frosty Tips aside, former spearhead of Ring of Honor and PWG for that matter. I want to say that Nigel gets it because I honestly don't think Jon Moxley needs to hold on to this title for one calendar year. I don't think the Continental Champion needs to be champion for a calendar year. And I really think right now, if he beats Nigel in what could be an incredible moment, that very much could be the case. Look what happened when Dustin Rhodes lost the TNT Championship. It freaking escalated Kyle Fletcher. Who says Nigel can't do the same thing to somebody else? It's just, damn, I'm outweighing moment and momentum. That's what this comes down to, moment and momentum. But looking at my picks, there's also a point about, again, does every title change hands? And it would be poetic for him to be done in ring in England. All right, y'all convinced me. I was figuring at first it's going to be a moment. Going to butt kick myself in the ass, though, because I've always been influenced at least one time once in a while on these shows. I will say that Jon Moxley retains as well, but Nigel goes down fighting and goes down flipping him off British style and passing out a bull nugget choke. I think that Jon Moxley will retain as well. But I think he also will show respect and give him the ring and give him that moment. Because we've seen that more out of Jon Moxley as of late in these Continental matches where it's just two men truly putting their all out there for professional wrestling because that's what this business deserves. His words. And I really echo that sentiment, especially when it comes to the Continental Championship. I got Jon Moxley retaining as well. Damn it. And I'm from Ohio, so honestly, I can't be mad at it. Respect. Okay, let's go to Charles next here, and then we'll go to JJ last. Charles, what do you got to say regarding the Continental Championship?
I already said my prediction earlier during the casino gauntlet. When
that's fair.
When I said the placement of the order, if this match is before the casino gauntlet, I'm going with Nigel to win the match. And I'm still sticking by it, even if it's after or whatever. Nigel McGuinness is win the title.
All I'm gonna say, I'll say, if this match is before the semi-main I booked, I think we know which way this is going. If this is after, whole different sub-tangent. Because I do think one's gonna have a polarizing reaction, while the other one's gonna have a rousing reception. And whether or not Super Ditting makes that come to fruition, I think you know what I'm talking about. But thank you for that. With that being said, while he closes this one, you know what you're doing next. But that being said, what you got to say regarding Jon Moxley, the Continental Championship, much to what people have been talking about, and with Konosuke and worrying about that with Ash, is Jon Moxley a guy that has to be surrounded by a title as well? Again, the man that works 24/7 365 every damn Wednesday and Saturday night, leading by example, Mr. AEW since day one, the company man that's been for the light and dark, and defining his own wrestling merit through this Continental title has been defined by nothing but wrestling. Could it be the last one that defines him, or the last one that defines him for now, or someone that continues to define him? JJ, what do you think about this? And I know you got a lot to say about Nigel McGuinness because you've also seen his roots.
You know, I didn't even think about the Nigel retirement thing until Walter spoke it.
Same.
And now I can't unsee it.
Same. Damn you, Walter.
So, yeah, I've got Mox retaining.
If Walter screws me out at this point, I swear I'm coming after you, especially when I'm giving you this pay-per-view. You son of a bitch. Damn it. All right. Well, that being said, we got Jon Moxley mostly retaining. But, again, we get to call Nigel McGuinness in Wembley Stadium. Thank you, Pro Wrestling. Thank you. All right. Well, now it's time to get down to the absolute purpose of All In. For all we know, of course, All In was defined by the Owen Hart Foundation tournament winners for both the men and the women. As JJ gets comfortable, buckle up and buckle in, folks, because now we are going to cook and we're going to see who pulls the trigger and who leaves victorious in Wembley Stadium. Smile anyways, or a smile removed by force with a broken hand and a broken heart. Stay tuned. It is now time to talk about the AEW Women's World Championship. Willow Nightingale defending the gold against the very bane of her existence, honestly, or the shaper of her AEW legacy, some would say, Mercedes Mone. And even before that, before I give it to JJ, here's some backstory for you folks. You could also go look at the close-up, collaborative close-up that Renee Paquette had with Willow Nightingale, Mercedes Mone. Very telling when it comes to the stoic, absolute disgust demeanor of Monet, seeing how much Willow has been defined by her career and has really shaped her and also has been there for her greatest losses. Blames Willow for the fact that literally when she got injured at Walter Premier for the Inter Strong Women's Championship, she just smiled over her and freaking risked her career being over. When big business was fought forward, it was Willow Nightingale that Mercedes Moné ascended and used the expense of the TBS Championship until Willow took that all away from her at New Year's Smash. And now here we are with the one title that Mercedes Moné has been unable to capture. And of course, she's going all or nothing for the second year in a row after last year being defeated by timeless Toni Storm in her first ever loss in AEW. The bottom line, though, the record stands with these two actually more in favor of Willow. She has 2-1 against Mercedes Moné. And of course, she just pinned Mercedes Moné at Grand Slam Mexico in that 6-woman tag I talked about earlier. What the CEO's portfolio defined did not have AEW Women's World Championship on the dotted line. Is it finally her time, or do we still see this bubbly, unorthodox babyface of the industry smile forward, leaving Wembley Stadium with the AEW Women's World title? I'm not going to say another word. Everyone will get to say their piece, but JJ will kick things off first. JJ, the floor is yours. Please speak. What is your outlook on the future of the AEW Women's World Championship? And honestly, as old as Bayley and freaking Sasha Banks, the bottom of my NXT, this has to be the combination of this fight forever rivalry with these two that have really shaped the foundation of the women's division AEW. Who you got leading with the gold, and what does it mean for both the champion and the defeated?
Okay. So everybody knows my stance on Mercedes Moné.
Yes.
I still personally, not professionally, not business-mindedly, personally feel she's not ready for it. And I say that because she hasn't lost everything yet. She may have lost all those other championships, but she didn't lose the Owen. She didn't hit rock bottom. She has not begun her redemption arc. And I feel like until that moment happens in Mercedes' story, she's not ready. Now, is Mercedes better as a heel than a babyface? Yes, absolutely. Would Mercedes be a better champion as a heel as opposed to a babyface? Yes, absolutely. But you can't have somebody that amassed as much success as Mercedes did in her first year and a half with the company and then lose most of it, not hit rock bottom and lose it all. So that's where I'm coming from a personal standpoint.
That's fair.
From a professional, from a business standpoint, Tony paid out the ass to sign her. In my personal opinion, way more than she's worth. How long do you allow that investment to not reap the dividends that you paid out for it. Her as champion draws houses because everybody wants to see her get beat and lose the belt. It's the whole Roddy Piper philosophy when it comes to WrestleMania. People talk about if it was Hulk Hogan that drew the house or if it was Vince McMahon, betting on WrestleMania that drew the house. And Roddy Piper said, fuck both of y'all.
Yeah, I remember that.
If people didn't want to see me get my ass kicked, nobody would have fucking showed up.
Accurate.
Same thing with Ric Flair as champion in the 80s. With the Horsemen and everything. He was able to draw those houses because everyone wanted to see who was going to kick his ass and take the 10 pounds of gold. So Mercedes, as champion, is going to help draw some houses, which, from a business standpoint, AEW desperately needs. I think a key factor here is the woman that defeated Mercedes last year. Where is Timeless Toni Storm?
Bloody murder.
What if she comes out and costs either woman the match?
Ooh, a scarred starlet taking herself back into the spotlight. Huh.
Think about it as Jade Cargill as Elimination Chamber. Everyone thought she was about to go for Liv Morgan, and she went after Naomi. What if everybody thinks that Tony is about to go after Mercedes, and she goes after Willow?
That would be the most wild swerve yet. I get it, but still.
I feel like as long as Tony isn't pregnant, this is where she makes her return.
The very stage she took Monet's moment away and her undefeated streak.
I feel like the plan originally was to have Willow keep it. But with her hand being broken, legitimately now, I think they're going to call the audible. And as much as I hate to say it, I think the GTA stripper twat waffle walks out of Wembley with the championship. I'll be in Carson, California chanting CE no, CE no. While our, and I use this term loosely, friend Simon from the Spaces is having the orgasms because his CEO won, and Ashley's reaction is exactly what I was going after.
You all know more about that stuff than I do. I'll never explore that space.
You want to meet somebody that epitomizes that basement dweller wrestling fan, pictures of Trish Stratus and Sunny off the internet. This dude when it comes to Mercedes. Ash, stop me if I'm telling lies.
And her expression says, no lies detected. And on that front, I'm simply going to say this. Get some sunlight. And thank you, JJ. Wow. With that being said, bottom line, you heard it here. JJ picked Mercedes Moné to become, finally, the AEW Women's World Champion. Much to his chagrin. Bloody hell. Okay, thank you, JJ. Let's go around the horn and see what the rest of y'all think about that. Simply put, people are following that. Dave, again, Willow Nightingale, the fact of the matter that I'm still smiling, bitch. And literally, Mercedes Moné calling her nothing but a dumb bitch and saying that I'm going to do whatever I have to wipe that stupid smile off your face and seize this title. To the point now, she took away her hand. So how's she going to look for the deadlift powerbomb? It's one of those things now where she literally found a cheek or made a cheek in Willow's armor, much like when Willow took advantage of her back in the Walter period when she wanted a strong women's championship in Mercedes Moné's mind. And that's really where all this bad blood stems back from. So with that in play, do you also think that Sunday belongs to Mercedes Moné?
Thanks, Noah. I'm kind of towards JJ with a little bit of a twist at the end. I have Willow until the broken hand was reported. So, and then because I figured she has Moné's number, it could put Moné more of in a downtail spin. And like JJ said, the one thing, she still hasn't lost the Owen.
Correct.
So it still hasn't been to the downfall. But with the broken hand and everything, I think it's too much to deal with. And I saw something earlier about possible surgery, which means she may be out. So I think at the end, we may see Toni Storm afterwards, but not attacking Willow. I think she's going to attack Moné, because if we're losing Willow for more time, we need a strong baby face to go up against the heels, including Moné. So I think Tony's not going to come back as a heel if she's coming back. I think she's coming back as a face still. It may be a little bit of a different gimmick. We never know with her, because she can change herself around just like Jericho. She's very smart that way. So I do think that Moné is holding on, and I am getting a little tired, so I'm going to tap out. Is it okay if I give you my last pick?
Yeah, absolutely, good sir.
Yeah, because I don't have to drive like Nick, but I have to be up early. But I'm gonna definitely go with Ospreay at the end. I think it's a pretty foregone conclusion. And I did want to let you guys know something I saw during the show tonight. We all thought there'd be no more WrestlePalooza. It was announced December 12th. There's going to be WrestlePalooza for WWE, by the way.
All right. Well, I guess they got to give you something before the holidays.
Something!
Damn it. For the price of freaking Christmas ham.
I'm aware of that, Dave. I already have the graphic all set to go for our Simply Reliable Studios trailers.
No, I appreciate you guys having me. I'll be back anytime you want me for predictions. And I hope you all have a great evening. It was great seeing everybody.
Always a pleasure, Dave. Thank you so much. And we will see you next time here in the Solo Studios, whether on predictions or shenanigans. Get some rest. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. All right. That being said, again, I feel like at this point, though, because I kind of also saw him getting a little bit tired, I just wanted to make sure he got his piece at least of that. I feel like we're all kind of in the same agreement that if Moné doesn't do it here, based on the scope now of the extent of damage to Willow's hand, and if you know Bianca Belair, hand injuries are no joke. I pray it's not nearly as bad as that. But yeah, that can put you out of commission for quite a while. And I do feel like, again, looking at Willow's run, if it wasn't for the lingering, which frankly wasn't heavy surgery, shoulder injury she had prior to the Owen, would we still have this dynamic? Would Mercedes Moné soft redemption actually have happened? Let's not forget, she came in as wild card, won the Owen 2 times consecutively, defended that belt basically, and that is the one belt that she basically has at this point. So I honestly thought she wasn't going to become a WWE champion until she lost that. Either someone beating her in the Owen or she had to forfeit it, considering she wasn't involved in the damn thing. That was my original outlook before we even went into the summer thinking of All In, because in the forefront, I had Thomas, Toy Storm, and Fett Clock going at it. And here we are with neither involved right now in that aspect. And Thekla is MIA since Willow beat her. You want to talk about somebody coming back here for revenge against a dumb bitch? I think Thekla could very well also be a detriment to Willow Nightingale, considering she's the one that she took the title from. Either way, unfortunately, I also agree with JJ, and you know how much I love Willow Nightingale. I've seen her rise. We called her winning the TBS title, an absolute delight. I do think they're going to reset the landscape of women's division with a heel at the forefront here and an absolute obnoxious Monet. And here's another reason why. There was a very, you remember Izzy, right? The young girl from my NXT that was always a fan of Bayley. And when Sasha Banks got the better of Bayley, she couldn't stand it. She cried at ringside. There was a young little girl on the front row in Glasgow, Scotland, with a sign that says, "Willow is my hero." If Monet finds a way to exploit that in a diehard fan again under this company, there's your setup for the Fight Forever saga that will be Monet and Willow Nightingale. But I do think Thomas Toni Storm could be Charles standing two stepping away back into Wembley Stadium, much like how she left when she lost to the Glamour Mariah May. I love that dynamic. Again, Monet downfall started at the hands of Thomas Toni Storm. We don't know who attacked Thomas Toni Storm. Someone here thinks it should be Mina Shirakawa turning sweet, innocent Mina into a villain. How dare you? But Monet was never a name we thought about. And Monet, she has just as big as a reason, if any, to take out Thomas Toni Storm, who was the face of AEW. 1 year later, if we uncover, by Detective Loafer, that freaking Mercedes Monet took out Thomas Toni Storm, boom, there's your next saga. And we all know how long Thomas Toni Storm can give us, and this gentleman, filibuster, a saga to remember, despite the fact he hates one of them. Either way, if any of that type of stuff I'm talking about is going to happen or has contest in the AEW World Championship, it all surrounds the belt going to Mercedes Monet. I got Monet winning as well. Ash, what do you got to say here real quick?
I also have Monet winning. It's kind of sad that once again Willow is transitional to Mercedes, conquering.
The start of Monet's rise and the rise again from the ashes. Freaking forever story, but the sad saga. Ugh. All right.
Well, that's the only downside about this. Is just like it's what happened with the TBS title is going to happen with the AEW Women's title, and that's just it's quite the weird, crazy coincidence when you come to think of it, is it not?
Well, Double or Nothing, their original biggest show, their genesis, Monet's Rise, AEW's biggest show of the year, Monet's Rise again to the highest of freaking heights.
Yeah.
And they'll be 2-2 against each other, regardless, in this outcome, if Monet wins.
True. And I know JJ mentioned this, like, I think, I don't remember what predictions or a space that it's possible, much like with the TBS title, it started with Willow and it ends with Willow.
Sounds like Willow Nightingale is like the bridge with most women in that freaking roster. That's a fair point. Crazy. Goes to show how invaluable Willow Nightingale is. But again, we all love Willow. Good luck. You know, even with a broken hand, I would love to be fucking wrong about this. Just to see Monet go apoplectic and Thomas Toni Storm come to Willow's aid. Yeah, broken hand. Does she have to lose it? I'm just saying. But yeah, it just seems like one of those things that you kind of got to go with. All right. Thank you very much. I think we got a fair amount of people that speak their piece on this without copying anybody else. Charles, you better have something different to say, or you better be on of your own, picking Willow to win. What is it?
Wow. Well, first of all, I do agree. Mercedes is winning this title. It's like, because one, why the hell would you have her win twice over in the women's side if the winner doesn't even win the damn title at the event?
2 years in a row, if Mercedes Monet loses, to your point, and she would be, I think, right now, the only woman right now on the losing end of that.
And it'd be kind of ridiculous. So Mercedes has to win this. Even if Willow didn't have a broken hand, I still think Mercedes should win anyway. Because otherwise, what's the point? The men's term is more successful at times. Fans of the other.
Well, considering last time we were here in Wembley, we had the biggest moment in Bryan Danielson's career. His own words. That's a fair shout. All
Yep.
right. All right. Thank you for that. Walter, anything you want to add in conclusion to JJ, of course, who has the same mind as you?
No, I'm good. You guys pretty much said it all. I think it's all about the broken hand and Mercedes wins.
All right. And then JJ, you all good, man? I did see your hand, though. I wasn't sure because you're rubbing your side head.
No. I had a thought because you know me and the way my brain works.
Of course.
I want to take you back, Noah, to a moment that we had together in the other company. All In is looked at as AEW's WrestleMania.
Yes.
WrestleMania 40.
Yes.
What happened in that main event?
The story was finished.
But let's get bigger than that. Was it just Cody and Roman one-on-one the whole match?
No, it was a saga of history coming forward.
So what if we get the Brawling Birds coming out here to help Mercedes?
Or
what if we then get or not Brawling Birds, excuse me, but Divine Dominion?
Yes.
What if we then get Stat and whoever, Maya, to come out here, Harley too, to come out and help Willow? You know, and we start building this whole structure, because I will forever remember you saying on that call, what is happening? And my response to you was what? Do you remember?
The freaking Avengers coming together. The
The Avengers are assembling.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
What if we have that type of moment in this match?
I did mention how Monet tried to lobby the idea since Beach Break, Divine Monet. And if the Divine Dominion loses the Women's Tag Team Championships, what are they? Does Monet take advantage of that and invest in those assets? I see what you're doing.
And then to my earlier point that I made when I made my prediction, the Undertaker spot is Timeless Tony.
Yep. I see what you mean. The only difference here is, regardless how we're looking at this story still sounds like it has the villain winning in the end, because all roads lead to Monet right now, seizing the AEW Women's World Championship. But for someone like that to happen,
this could be something they do in order to get around Willow's broken hand.
That's true.
In order to keep her with the belt.
That's true.
She didn't do it clean, which gives Mercedes the right to go full on, you know, debuting Chelsea Green and being the ultimate Karen about it all.
That's true.
To then potentially set up a rematch in Chicago, when Willow's hand would probably be more healed.
Yeah. Depending on the extent, yeah. I again, as long as it's not serious, I like that. I also think about just throwing out other names out there that are connected with Willow and Monet. Maya World, Athena and Monet still want to go on this 2-win power trip to take over AEW. Mercedes, Monet, and Athena, both victims of Timeless Tony Storm last year, back-to-back occasions, AEW Women's World Championship. There's a lot of longevity connections with the AEW Women's Division that could come into play. They might go all out in this match, where these two will go all in for the fourth damn time singles-wise. There's a lot to consider, but again, just look at the two at the forefront and wondering, do you do that now or do you do that later? Because again, this is the rise of the CEO. Do you just have the entire world take down the corporation at the end of the day? I like that. There are many ways this could go. I'm even more ambitious in how this match plays out, but I still think the decision is going to be the same. I still think Monet is going to win.
And let me just say, on shopaew.com right now, for $75, you can buy your very own mini Monet.
Oh, buddy.
So if anybody would like to get me a belated birthday gift, you know what to buy.
JJ! All right. That being said, Monet for the win. Willow, break the world, break the bracket system, break predictions leagues, don't break your hand in the process, break the CEO and retain the championship in a what if. Please and thank you.
What
All right.
What if I?
Non-copyright. All right. That being said, all right. We've had a lot of unique outlooks, tangents, possible debuts, possible moments, some upsets. But let's go ahead and get right into it, shall we? Let's go ahead and talk about our main event with 10 years plus of history for the AEW World Championship. And wow, this is going to be special because someone else decided to join us in the predicting, and I think because he's here for the first time, he'll kick things off. But we've reached the conclusive nature of what's got to be the main event. Does it come home? Does a young man from England achieve a dream for his country, not just for himself or for his family? Does he become the ace of all elite wrestling? Is this his ascension? Or once again, is Kenny Omega truly the better of him? When it doesn't come to the belt, it comes to being the best in the professional wrestling business. Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, AEW World Championship. Let's fucking go. Man, the roots and history that these two men go all the way back beyond freaking AEW for that matter. You figure about Kenny Omega, who inspired a young Will Ospreay in Red Pro, who followed some of the roads of the cleaner through New Japan Pro Wrestling. Eventually, these two men would finally meet one another on a similar playing field, both in New Japan and in Canada. But that hollow win that Will Ospreay got with the influencer in the cleaners bygone IWGP United States Championship run, Don Callis, meant nothing because he didn't do it on his own. He felt empty, shallow. Now we finally see these two going one-on-one once again, where they both have faced career-threatening, and in one person's case, life-threatening injuries and illnesses. Then again, Will Ospreay also faced that during the pandemic. And now they find each other fighting for the AEW World Championship. It was more of a must-win than ever for either. The fact of the matter that we don't know how much longer we got Kenny Omega, and we don't know if Will Ospreay can do it beyond this, is a whole different conversation. But one question still plagues this at the end of the day. Will Ospreay, much like what the Death Riders wanted you to do or were trying to encourage you to do as their new dangerous weapon, you plan to do it on your own, but will you do it? Will you pull the fucking trigger? And will Kenny Omega truly see it coming and be able to avoid it, withstand it, or will it be the final shot needed? Who leads Wembley Stadium for the AEW World Championship? Is it a foregone conclusion? Is it the biggest riot, what if, WTF to happen in AEW history? What does it mean for the future of AEW? We got the names of Kyle Fletcher at our forefront. Let's go around the horn and see what y'all think about this culminating match for what could be the Aerial Assassin's rise to finally seize the AEW World Championship. All bets are off with how personal this has fucking gotten with the bruv and his son. Damn, Omega. Freaking no freaking limitations in his vocabulary. I cannot wait to fucking call this historic moment regardless. This is why I love professional wrestling, damn it. And I cannot fucking wait to see what it means for the future of AEW World Championship. And Ash right now waits in anticipation. Let's go around the horn and see what I think about All In's main event. So first and foremost, Jeff Mother from Misham is down here for those that are just now tuning in, just off screen. But I would love to hear Jeff's thoughts first and foremost, how he feels about All In and what he wants to say regarding Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, considering he was with the bruv on a boat for the AEW World Championship. So, Jeff, I'm not going to Roderick Strong scream you back on screen, but if you are available, I would love to hear you speak.
I'm only off screen because I'm trying to move around. I'm trying to find a hat also. Like I look like dog shit, so sorry about that in advance.
Oh, you're good, brother. I'm glad to have you here. Welcome to Sleepy Ditting. It's been a while.
It's always good to be had, as JJ would say, or something like that. So
good to be seen.
Yeah, good to be seen. You can't see me. I am literally my buddy John Cena tonight.
Hey, I'm for it.
There you go. So first of all, did I hear JJ compare Mercedes Moné possibly being the champion to a Roddy Piper level heel? Like, did I actually hear that comparison made in a even a minutely positive manner about the next AEW Women's World Champion? I am, dude. JJ, you must be getting contemplative, and dare I say nice in your old age after 50, man. Good on you, brother. Good on you for that.
Don't push it, fucker.
I know. Hey, you know what? I am looking forward to it. I've got 3 days off. I'm going to be here tomorrow doing Jack and shit, and I think Jack done left town. The next day, I am going to be interacting with and hopefully getting a promo from we'll call him a large, attractive, too sweet Hall of Famer, and we'll let you guys figure it out from there. And then I'll be around all day Sunday. I'll be part of this show. I'll be part of the WWE offerings if I'm needed. I am here for you folks.
Love it.
I love it too. I'm so glad somebody at work decided they wanted to work Sunday rather than Monday. I'm like, I got you on Monday. I will gladly be here Sunday. As far as the World Championship match, it is, as Noah mentioned, it's no secret. I spent the better part of 4 days in and out of a drunken haze with Will Ospreay, among many other attendees on the Jericho Cruise. Matter of fact, it was Will Ospreay and his friends that saved me from my drunken stupor and gave me a case of spring water. So God bless the bruv for saving my ass.
Right.
As far as Kenny Omega, I was in the building, and I think we were already in receipt at that point when he became the PWG World Champion. So I am very happy for both these guys that they are in the slot they're in. I think we've all can agree that Kenny Omega has fought back from what should have been a career-ending, what was a life-threatening situation with diverticulitis, right, Brock Lesnar? Diverticulitis is fucked up. I unfortunately know far too many people that have had to deal with this shit. So, that is what it is. And Will Ospreay has battled back from, damn near $500,000 neck fusion surgery that has, saved his career, lengthened his career, saved his life. And whatever else you think of Tony Khan, they paid for that in full. So God bless the Khans for doing things like that. Come football season, I'm back to it's the fucking Jaguars. Sorry, guys. I am so looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to the whole show. Now that I know I can be home to watch it, and hopefully be part of the call not part of the call because you've already got 4 people on the call. I will gladly be button boy though. I am here for you on that one.
Oh, please be button boy. Me, Ash, and Walter. We got the play-by-play and the cut analysis covered for you, bruv.
Well, I've got my in the control room graphic ready to go. It'll be better than this, what you see here. Anyway,
fair enough.
The match itself, you're right, Noah. We've seen this before. We've seen the shenanigans play a part in the match before. We've seen both guys get what were ultimately unfulfilling, inconclusive victories. And you have to believe, at least I want to believe in my heart of hearts. I can't believe it in my soul because, ginger is what it is. But in my heart, I believe they're going to have a definitive conclusion. And I really want it. If it couldn't be Davey Boy Smith, who did win the big one in his native land, but it was the Intercontinental, not the world title.
That's right.
If it couldn't be William Regal, which is still a crime against wrestling nature, he was never a world champion, then it has to be Will Ospreay here. You're right. We don't know how much longer we're going to have Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega himself has admitted as much, but Will Ospreay had a surgery that was intended to extend his career, however long it's going to be.
Right.
And I believe that his career is going to continue after Sunday, and he'll wake up Monday morning in his homeland with that beautiful, however many pounds of gold at his bedside, along with Alex Windsor, because, that's a thing. Here for Will. My prediction is Will. No doubt about it.
All right. Thank you very much, Jeff. We got the bruv. And again, I also want to point this out before I go to Walter next. Last time we were here in Wembley Stadium regarding the All In Half Edition tournament winner, it was Bryan Danielson that won the All In and went on to win the AEW Championship against Swerve Strickland, who main evented, of course, for the first time here in Wembley. When it comes to All In, particularly as of late, whether here in London or, of course, in Texas, we have now seen the AEW World Championship change hands the last 2 calendar years consecutively for the All In Heart Foundation tournament winner under the most extreme circumstances. and the most dangerous of opponents. I don't think it gets more dangerous than two men that don't give a damn about their own well-being when it comes to proving who is truly the better man inside the fucking ring.
No, and you mentioned the last time we were at Wembley, it was Bryan winning. That is still in my top 5 moments that I got to be a part of in terms of the production of the watch along type situation.
Yeah.
Just being behind this and just the moment, the entire thing, the entrance with Brie and the kids, and the moment after the match with the soon to be former Blackpool Combat Club that evolved into the Death Riders. Oh, God, the Death Riders. But that moment in Wembley with them there was just special. And I don't know, for Will and for his family, it will be just as special. And I hope for that for him. And but whatever else happens Sunday, that needs to be the definitive moment. Will Ospreay not only becoming a world champion in AEW, but in London.
Yeah, it screams like this is the moment we need this calendar year for professional wrestling, damn it. And maybe for AEW's freaking future as we know it.
This fucking calendar week. We need a little bit of smiles. This has been a fucked up week. Okay.
And you know what? No, I understand what you mean completely. That's accurate. That being said,
over this shit.
Yeah, I think many people are.
Some championship wins here.
I think many people are, and not just from a wrestling standpoint. Thank you, Jeff. Oh, good Lord. Walter Cruz, transformed. I put it on your now voice to speak. What do you guys say regarding the AEW World Championship? Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. Go ahead.
I think Kenny is fully embracing being the heel on this because he knows where he's gonna be, what territory he's in. But you have to. I called Ospreay winning since he returned from injury. We thought he was going to win before he got injured, so we knew this was all set up for this match right here. But I feel like it's going to be a hell of a banger, and then Kenny's going to probably wrap the title around him, give him his spot, and make it even worthwhile. Like, there might be tears in all 3 of our eyes. I think this might be the biggest moment in a long time. They're gonna have a huge moment here when the passing of the torch, if you will, happens. So, of course, I think this might be the one unanimous one tonight. I think
it has to wins. Be. Please, come on now. It has to be. If there is ever something to need to be 100% fucking %, which is why I am personally going around to everybody. It fucking needs to be this damn match. Period. That being said, let's go ahead and move on to Charles now, who's already been surprising us. That's 2 for the bruv. And fuck it, I'll just say it because I'll preach all night about it. 3 for the bruv. Charles, go ahead and lay your voice now on this. What you got going on with the main event?
What could I say right now? Turn this week on his head. I'm torn on this match, literally. I don't know. Yep. I've been torn the moment ever since Kenny turned at Ospreay. On one hand, predictability. We all of us here goes back Ospreay to win. But on one hand, on my other part of my brain going, why not go against predictability for once? And you know what? I'm leaning towards, screw it, I'll be on the island. I don't see Ospreay winning.
You go back in your manhood now. Go back in your manhole now.
What the
manhole?
The manhole, Walter. Botch.
See,
I want it.
This is why Knots and Six Flags merge, because the creator of Peanuts can't keep his shit straight. This is what. Right here. Anyway, carry on.
I would be I want Ospreay to win, but I'll be shocked if TK doesn't go the predictable route. I will be shocked.
I thought I was missing some of my stuff, but jeez.
Okay, then. Well, thank you, Charles, for always being the top 0.01% of different when it comes to something that is more obvious than water is wet. Thank you very much. All right, let's go to JJ here before I give it to the fair lady, lover of techers, and, of course, a fair outlook on Brits to go last. JJ, anything you want to add regarding what you heard or to rebuttal Charles, what if more wider and stranger and harder to access in the Twilight Zone? Go ahead.
Well, let me get this out of the way, plain and simple. Ospreay's fucking taking this.
Okay, good man. Thank you. God.
Now, remember in the last match, I made a comparison to WrestleMania 40?
Yes.
I believe this match is going to be our WrestleMania 20 moment. Ospreay's going to win. Everyone's going to be focused on him in the ring. And then Alex Windsor will be right there with her newly won championship.
That made me so happy.
To embrace her man.
And the confetti falls, and their son Harry comes into the ring with them. Okay. Short, sweet, simple, and to the point.
Jeff comes on screen doing his best JJ impression, boo-hooing like a motherfucker.
Accurate.
Had to get him there, didn't you?
Hey, you know what? I'm going to be somewhere else and unable to do it. So, yeah, someone's got to be that person. And I know you're too stoic to do it, Noah.
You damn fucking right.
And if Ash cries, no disrespect.
Oh, I'm
but
not going to cry if Ospreay wins. Hell no, I don't care for Ospreay. I'm going to cut you off.
I'm just saying, if she were, people would be like, "Oh, well, she's a chick. Of course, she's emotional." You know, it's like, but for me or for Jeff or for you to cry, people will be like, "Oh man, that's a moment."
It takes.
I mean, shit. Let's not forget how emotional I got when we fucking heard the opening strains of Final Countdown for the first time at Forbidden Door.
2023. I still remember it to this day. The same year that Kenny Omega lost to Ospreay, thanks to Don Callis. I get it, but yeah. And again, there are very, 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 very few things that draw a literal keyword literal tear to my eye. And the last thing that actually did it, I think, was watching Rebel Tania's fight against ALS in her last little tidbit, because the strength that woman is demonstrating outweighs anything right now in professional wrestling. God bless her.
With a tear in my eye.
And Dr. Breaker DMD doing her makeup, as of course she went from wrestling to being a makeup artist. Again, folks, stay tuned.
Well, God knows she can't get booked on any episodes of Dynamite or Collision.
Yeah, that's a whole different conversation. Don't get me started there. Again, we're trying to keep this in a better light. But that being said, again, folks, stay tuned for our coverage, by the way, of that special edition of Dynamite, Rebel Heart, supporting research for ALS. Of course, you can learn more about that at imals.org, and show your love and support today to Rebel Heart's fight in this for others to not suffer the same way by buying the Rebel Heart shirt and merch. All proceeds go to ALS Research. You can get those today via her social medias or at shopaw.com. All right. That being said, thank you, JJ. Certainly last but not least, and actually that's the reason why I picked her, because, again, there's a reason the Simple Session, there's so much the Simple Man and the Bat know about each other. So, it's not Cody Rhodes, but damn sure is going to get a similar reaction. Hi, Ash. You close things out. What's your thoughts regarding the AEW World Championship main event scene, the what-ifs to come, cause and effect, the winner that leaves, the moment, the sweet victory, and the aftermath? The floor is yours to close things out.
So, I am so torn on this match, because on the one hand, it's like, we don't know how much time Omega has left.
Exactly.
And I want to see him pull that title for as long as he can. Although, let's be real, Omega doesn't really need the title, which seems to be like a theme for me this
yeah, I noticed
the predictions.
I've noticed.
Yeah, and then but on the other hand, it's just like, all roads lead to Ospreay. They've been building him up and building him, and it's got to the point where if he doesn't get crowned in his hometown, when would this company be able to reheat Ospreay so that way when they do pull the trigger on him and he becomes AEW champion and it doesn't take place at All In, people are not going to be like, oh, the moment's passed already. This is like too little too late. And it's just like, although it's predictable that Ospreay is going to win. However, we've known sometimes what's likely to happen doesn't always happen with AEW's booking.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm going to be real with you. The last time Omega went up against a Brit and I went against Omega, it did not end well for me. I don't give a toss what y'all wankers say. I'm picking Omega. I'd rather, for me personally, I'd rather see Omega with that title than Ospreay because I don't think Ospreay's done enough. To me, for me anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
okay then.
I will say this though: if Ospreay does win, I'm not going to be opposed to it. I'll be like, yeah, that's the right call.
I mean, coming back from a life-defining double fusion neck surgery, surviving the Owen against Troy Strickland, a man he hasn't beaten for a decade, risking his own mortality against the Death Riders to become more fine-tuned and better, and pretty much right now at odds end with his own freaking student in Kyle Newman that is leading and literally changing the outlook of his faction, United Empire, and you still think he hasn't done enough.
Yeah. Funny how you mentioned Caleb Newman. Do you think there's a possibility he might get involved in the match?
Oh, shit. I didn't even think about that.
Because he is at that Rev Pro show the night prior. I'm just saying. And it could build towards the Newman versus Ospreay feud. And that does not need the AEW title. So it gives Ospreay something to do if, Omega does retain.
It's not out of the realm of possibility, considering, again, Will Ospreay prides himself so much in bringing professional wrestling to promise, especially in the UK. His family has so many connections, of course, in the UK. He's a producer in Pro Wrestling Eve. He's been a foundation of RevPro. Literally, when the freaking pandemic almost destroyed the UK independent wrestling scene, Will Ospreay was there to keep the pieces that were left and pick up from where they left off, and still does to this day. So I would definitely not rule that out. In fact, considering we've already seen how much United Empire has been going up to bat with Hanare and Francisco Akira for Will Ospreay against Don Callis, who's been trying to take him out since the get-go. And with Don Callis saying that you owe me for all your freaking glory. You owe me for the fact you are and win, but you owe me blah, 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 blah. I would not rule out the good United Empire that supports Will Ospreay still, escorting him in full suits in his entrance. Much like how Kyle Newman wanted Will Ospreay to do that with him at Sakura Genesis when Kyle Newman won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. I wouldn't rule it out. At the end of the day, Will Ospreay's not just fighting for a country, he's fighting for his livelihood in pro wrestling, the livelihood that he's built in New Japan with the United Empire, and the livelihood that he wants to further elevate in AEW. It's crazy to think about how much the world right now is on Will Ospreay's shoulders for professional wrestling. And AEW is at the forefront of it, period. But I love the passion. I love the outlook. And again, everything is possible. Nothing is absolutely 100%, keyword 100% undisputed. So I appreciate that polarizing tangent. So I guess Charles is not alone. Thank you, Ash. All right. Well, that being said, Charles, I did see your hammer clip, but you got to say it real quick before we maybe start wrapping things up.
I like how when I said my reason, it was a hell of a lot different compared to Ash's reason over here. Like completely 180.
Yeah, no kidding.
I personally don't see that with Ospreay whatsoever, but I'm crazy. But I guess I'm not going to be on the island alone. For whole different reasons.
Yeah, sometimes you need more than a ball called Wilson just to have company. So there you go.
Apparently.
I understand that reference.
Good man.
I did too.
Good gentleman. All right. Well, that being said, does anyone else got anything else to say regarding this? That's AEW All In. That's our main event. That's the brawl that we think is going to finally reach his ascension for his country and bring it home. What do you got to say? I did see your hand real quick.
Do we think the One Winged Angel's gonna get kicked out of?
Ooh.
Bonus point.
Because
nah, don't talk that. We're not going that far.
That's a discussion point on the spaces and in Twitter.
That's a strong discussion point, too.
Mhm.
That's a strong discussion point. Again, the only man that's kicked out of it is Kota Ibushi. And I could literally see Will Ospreay being the only other man put in that conversation. I like that a lot, actually. As long as it's not at 1. I think here you got to literally do 2 and 9 cents because that goes to show, again, especially with that being on his neck, how far he's willing to die for this moment because he may never get it, to your points and others' points. I like that a lot, though. Food for thought to consider, again, how much the story bell to bell in ring might literally outweigh the overall history of these two men in professional wrestling, whether against each other or on their own paths. Was one chasing the other this whole time? I guess we'll find out this Sunday once for all who leads the AEW World Championship. That being said, I think we went all in on this conversation, and that's really it. So again, folks, what are your outlooks, your opinions, your biggest moments, your debuts, your upsets that you see towards the pay-per-view? JD, I do see your hand real quick. What's up?
I meant to bring this up when we were talking about the Casino Gauntlet.
Yes.
Knowing Tony Khan, knowing he's not afraid to shell out money for licensed music.
Yes.
Instead of doing, the whatever for the 10 count for whoever's going to come out next, they should play the Who's Who Are You every time for the 10 count.
Nah.
Yeah, I could totally see it. I think it would be a great gag. Instead of people counting down, it's like, who are you?
Nah. Besides, Masked Singer's got that song pretty much old at this point. Nah.
No, that's a CSI thing.
Well, yeah, but that also goes back to CSI as well. That's where they ripped it from. So anyway, I mean, wild tangent, but I guess that's some level of entertainment. At least it's freaking regional. Yes, Jeff, I do see your hand up, bruv.
So, really quick, I'm just going to go through my picks.
Oh, sure.
Since I came in late. I'll blow through them here.
I know.
The wild card entrant is going to win the Trios Championship because I think it's going to be Swerve and Kofi and Woodsy. Mercedes wins. Will wins. I said that already.
Yes.
Lord, wrestling gods, not JBL, forgive me. The Bucks win.
Ah!
I called it too.
It hurts me. But
me too.
You both hurt me.
No, just okay. I'll elaborate on this part. Adam got his wish. He got his tag team championship run with Jay in AEW. They have to end it apart. Christian's got to turn. And if they want to persist with this nonsense of the Bucks continuing to be baby faces, then fine. Just turn Christian back heel, full heel, and let it be. Whisper words of wisdom in London.
Okay.
And what did I say, Noah? What did I say?
Ended them going one-on-one one last time. I remember. We'll
I said have them lose the belts to the Bucks, get the rematch it all out, and then one-on-one one last time at Wrestle Dream.
I heard you both. I understand you both, but I'm going to continue my own way. But anyway,
if there's a way to stick it up WWE's ass and go, okay, you want to counter program, Muckerfuthers? We'll just give you a rematch. And we'll make sure it's some sort of dumb fuckery gimmickry between those two teams. Anyway.
Fair enough. Anyway, continue.
Casino Gauntlet, I am sticking with Max, and I'll give a shit how biased and how freaking homer I am. Max.
Fair enough.
Who's your number 2? Because you get 2 picks.
Max. Max is the other pick. I don't care. I'm not in the league, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're an outside observer, and I love that.
Outside observer. So Max or bust. And if somebody else wins, I'm gonna be a pissy son of a bitch, and I'm off work, so I can afford the time. Anyway.
All right.
Fucker. God, Mox and Nigel. You know what? I'm gonna go with Nigel just to see the implosion of what happens if Moxley loses the title.
I love that.
And I want, and even if Will doesn't get it, Nigel will get it in London, which is fucking awesome too, because that boy is overdue. I don't know enough about the tag title match, the women's tag title match, but so Alex gets her moment, we'll have the Birds win.
Fair enough.
Knight and Darby, God. I kind of want Darby to be the TNT champion just so he will never be the world champion again. Just keep him the fuck away from that title. Honest to God. So Darby there, and then Fletcher, Takeshita, and Okada? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the match that's going to bring the Superman patch now, if you catch my drift.
So I think that should be open just so we can all spend the entire rest of the 65 hours coming down from that one. Fuck.
Fair point.
I can't do a coin because it's 3. I need dice. Fuck. This is for which one? Which title is it?
The AEW International Championship that Takeshita had previously, that Kyle took off, and Takeshita beat Okada for at Double or Nothing.
Okay, so they've all been that champion already. Okay.
Yep.
I was gonna say which one of the championships that had, like, whatever. But
keep in mind, Jeff, Okada and Kyle Fletcher are part of the family, and Okada says all that matters is the title stays in the family.
Is it Proto-Kata or Proto-Shida?
Proto-Kata.
I'm gonna take a proto shit picking the butts for this match. God,
Me too.
Massive proto shit. God.
I knew this match was gonna be the hardest one to call.
I know. I hate the show, Jay. Anyway. No. You're over.
I love it.
Fletcher retains. Fuck it.
Okay, there we go. And Jeff has now put in his quick picks. And again, do you all agree with the professor of wrestling here at Tommaso? Let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah. Do not take these as professory top. This is not a Mike Tenay fucking full-on analysis.
I know. I just messed with you. Your nickname is a nickname for a reason, all right? I just say.
West Coast professor, and it's not quite West Coast. It's fucking far east. So
if you're the West Coast professor, I'm the Midwest commentator. There you go.
And JJ is the Renegade. And El Renegado, depending on what show you're on.
El Renegado de la Lucha Libre.
Well,
I think we need him to make a debut at Santino Brothers.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, you realize what you're setting yourself up for, bro?
I know exactly what I've set myself up for.
I need pictures. Lord. I need video. I need Joey and Sylvia taking turns chopping your ass with that mask on just because. Damn it.
And I need all of you, if you haven't already, to follow us here at SRCOS24 to continue to be part of the conversation with the simply predicting interviews, shenanigans, and our live watch and reactions, including All In. So again, we went All In tonight on our predictions. Again, subject to change, much like y'all's thoughts can as well. They're not due until 12:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday afternoon. We will be going live about that time, unless people choose to cover the buy-in, because I will not be home. I will be, of course, dealing with other priorities. But I will be here, of course, bringing forward that passion with Walter Cruz and Ash on the call with me, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday. Stay tuned for it. Again, if you haven't bought the preview already, here are the outlets and how you can get it. Go ahead, purchase today if you are a fan of professional wrestling or want a different outlook that will be worth your money and time, even if you don't watch it all at one point. This is the mecca of All Elite Wrestling. You will not be disappointed come Sunday afternoon, not Sunday night. But that being said, let's go ahead and bid these fine people, these fine near 200 of you, God bless you, a fine adieu. Let's go around the horn and do some shills. First and foremost, Ash, we're going All In Sunday. I cannot wait to do it with you. Let's go ahead and tell what the people can find and engage with you.
You can find me on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, at ShadowBadAsh, occasionally talking, mostly listening in on the spaces, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Batty for Wrestling. Don't be a goddamn dickhead.
Goddamn dickhead, wow.
Man, she went with the dick. She went that far with the dickhead. What the hell? Well, this is unique. I mean, I don't think she even watches All Elite Wrestling, but okay,
No.
I guess.
She messaged me to ask if she could come in and promote something. So I told her that I would send her the link when it came to the shows.
All right, very good. I'm fine with that, absolutely. So that being said, we got our own other side, the other queen of the SRS down here at the bottom. Again, Lily, if you're still awake, you still owe me a match Will Forge. If you want to try and beat me, good luck. Anyway, For those that don't know, that is Dattila down at the bottom. So I will now shush and let Dattila take the floor. Good to see you. Good to hear you. Please speak now what you wish to promote. If you are at the mic. Otherwise, I will jeopardy 3-second you, and we will move back on to something later.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Dattila.
I am on the mic.
Okay, there we go. Please speak.
On the mic.
On the mic.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm on my phone, so yeah. So as you guys know, it's Power Morphicon weekend. So I will be at Power Morphicon all weekend long, and I will be uploading panels up to my YouTube channel. So make sure you guys like and subscribe so you guys can see the cool content that I'll be posting regarding Power Morphicon.
Alrighty. Excellent stuff. Again, folks, that is Rangers of Wrestling. You see it right there.
I actually was at the command center today.
Well, there you go. Got her friggin' Morpher all ready to go. Well, thank you, Dattila. And again, I hope that you have a great time. Of course, this is the month where you empower others and yourself the most. And I hope that it's nothing but a fun, fulfilling experience for you. All right. Thank you for that, JJ and Dattila. And again, you also can follow her latest venture, Pop Culture
Thanks,
Power
Noah.
Bomb.
I miss, I really miss messing with you, Noah.
Yeah. Well, don't everybody when I'm not on screen. It's all good, though. Nothing but love. All right. Thank you, Dattila. And thank you, Ash. Again, folks, the queens of the SRS, Dattila and Ash, the yellow.
I still need to finish your song, called Nova's song.
Well, save that for another time and then have Sona AI further enhance it for you. Again, never stop being creative in your talents. Again, folks, subscribe today. Rangers of Wrestling. Do it. Do it now. You see it right there. Do it now. Go ahead. It's right there. Just search it, YouTube, and then hit the button.
All right. I'm going to power it.
I think she's trying to say.
I'm gonna power it down, and I hope my fellow Slagent A do. Bye, everybody.
Good night, Dattila.
Much love, Dattila. Good night. Hope to see you again real soon. And now we return back to our regularly scheduled shilling, but also thank you for that, JJ. Okay, that being said, Charles.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. TSU alumni, Undergrad University. Charles, go ahead and before you climb back down underneath the streets of NYC, tell where the people can find you.
You can follow me on X at Continental. Unlike what Noah just said, still believe in JCU or be cursed, people.
Foolish individual. All right, thank you, Charles. You can go to bed now if you want, or go play a TM to TN, avoid falling down the manhole, or play Double Dragon. Anyway, thank you so much. We'll pick up gaming here again here real soon, folks. Stay tuned for more on that with Super Reliable Gaming. Speaking of which, the pioneer behind it, Walter, again, I'm looking forward to when we insert the coin and continue. But go ahead and tell where the people can find you.
You can find me at Rage of Wrestling on YouTube. The Instagram is walter.cruz.940. And X is at Walter Alex Cruz.
As simple as that. Again, stay tuned for Walter and Ash. They will be part of our All In call this Sunday, as we will be your blind alternative conduit for alternative commentary wrestling coverage here at Ciampa Studios. In case you can't afford the show or watch it live, we're happy to be that own version of radio for you, for those that have YouTube Premium that just listen to YouTube in their pockets. Again, for all the biggest shows, specials, PRs, and pay-per-views across all things wrestling, as you all make this possible. Thank you. Thank you, Walter. All right. Now to the two hardest working man I've come to know since 2017. Hi, Jeff. Again, I'm so glad you've been here. What you been up to as of late? Where can people find you? I don't think I have you. Oh, that's perfect. Go ahead. The floor is yours. What you been up to?
Yeah, that is the plug for the moment. Hopefully, the week after Bound for Glory, I will be able to start making more announcements. Aaron has this show. I don't know if I sent it to JJ. I meant to. But other than finding me on the socials, finding me on the No DQ broadcasts here on the Ciampa Studios and with the Greg Cherry brand, when we have more content, and there is more content coming from the Greg Cherry brand, folks, stay tuned for that. The weekend after Bound for Glory, I will be at the Grove of Anaheim here, where JJ single-handedly nearly got XMV and NoDQ.com's camera destroyed thanks to Luther Reigns. Because Luther Reigns was Kurt Angle's bitch after all. I'll be at the Grove Anaheim because Quiet Riot and Slaughter will be there, opened up by Paradise Kitty. So it'll be a grand outing for all. I am trying to get as many people as I can into that building because, damn it, I think everybody should see the kitties at least once. So hopefully we'll get more people down. The tickets are not cheap, I'm not gonna lie, but I am gonna go. I'll be there, and that'll be the weekend after Bound for Glory. I forget what show is that weekend. I had it written down here somewhere, and I can't find the.
And who doesn't love to see a good kitty?
Wrestle Dream. That is the day of Wrestle Dream, the 17th. So I will not be on the call or any involved with AEW Wrestle Dream for that because I will be at the Grove Anaheim, going more deep than I already am.
Fair.
There you go.
Right.
Other than that, yeah, @Jeff Meacham. There are announcements coming. I'm just trying to get all the I's dotted, the T's crossed, and all the things organized. But come Money in the Bank, probably Money in the Bank night, if not Bound for Glory night, the next night, I will have finite details to deliver to all of you regarding the future of the Jeff Meacham Network.
I look very forward to that, and I look very forward to what that brings to the reboot. Much like All In should be a reboot for a lot of the AEW product when it comes to the championships, and those will be put in the conversation. And thank you very much, Jeff. Always appreciated. Before I give it to JJ, I also want to give a shout out to Birdman Dave Scheffler. There you see him right there. Of course, the Florida Horseman of No DQ. Try saying that 5 times fast. Thank you so much, Dave, for being a part of things here. You can, of course, follow Dave Scheffler here as he continues to contribute to No DQ on the No DQ Review and also part of Papadino's Major Push Wrestling. You can, of course, find Major Push Wrestling on usually Wednesday nights, sometimes schedules to change. And, of course, me and him, we'll be doing Predictions League Breakdown Monday, 6 p.m. Standard Time, giving you the live outlook statistically and also the scores for both the Team No DQ and the Galaxy All Elite Leagues in conjunction with Simply Predicting. Appreciate you, bruv. And again, congrats on the upcoming engagement to the fiance. Shout out to Courtney. All right. That being said, let's go. Ooh, look at that.
That is the large, attractive wrestler I was talking about that I'm going to see on Saturday.
Gotcha. Okay, the large should have gave it away. All right. Cool stuff.
I couldn't get the thing to send. I was going to send you the picture, but the fucker wouldn't send. I'm like, all right, I was going to be difficult.
Freaking,
anyway,
so
yeah, I am going to try real hard to get a, this is the Hall of Famer, and you're watching the Simple Rival Studios in a much sexier voice than I just gave it, because he is big sexy after all, so we'll see.
Yeah, about to say, you got that diesel still. Thank you so much, Jeff. Again, folks, do it now. All right. Do it. Do it now. It beckons you. Give in to your ambitions for professional wrestling content coverage. Damn it. All right. Thank you, Jeff.
Do some cooking there, too. Anyway.
Well, I mean, I'm always up for food, even at 2 o'clock in the morning. I got my Oreos, my Ritz Bits, and my brisk, but I also need to go to bed because I've got work at 6. That being said, thank you, Jeff. JJ, again, you're always busy. It's always a pleasure. Engaging, arguing, humoring, turning ourselves into freaking 2 Muppets on the high balcony when it comes to our outlooks on wrestling, whether we're bantering, ranting, or punning with freaking Walter. But you also are very busy, and of course, you're also taking care of your own priorities outside this passion. So tell other people can find you, despite the fact your graphic still irks me, and what you've been up to.
Well, you can find me.
Not touching.
And all of my brothers and sisters at Chase University.
Yes.
Isn't that such a beautiful graphic?
Yes.
You're lucky I'm not playing the Price Right Loser horn. I'm giving you that much
You,
respect.
you can find me on Instagram at the Renegade JJ Williams, YouTube Casa D18 Studios, X Casa D18 Studio. Although I hope this is the expression that we get to see on Sunday.
I forgot he still had that.
That's okay. When JJ's on Twix, he leaves the S for shenanigans. That's why there's no S in studios, because he leaves the S for the shenanigans for the rest of us.
That's right.
Accurate.
Of course, as Noah pointed out, make sure you follow the Simply Reliable Studios at SR Studios 2024 on X. Go to the link in the description on YouTube. Buy some of our merch, damn it.
Do it. Buy a shirt.
And then, Jeff talked about the announcements. Go back into the archives from Tuesday This man right here was one of the hardest working men in the business on Tuesday night, as he gave us an hour and a half of his time, Mr. Junie Underwood, and then went on to the GCW World podcast and gave John 3 hours over there.
Jesus.
In all fairness, Junie was not originally John's scheduled guest. John's scheduled guest was, let's see, I'm not going to say her name, but a recently signed TNA knockout who wears a certain type of hat and is married to a member of the system and got pulled as a result of her more recent contract signing. So Junie was a last minute replacement guest. And so as a result, we had to jockey our time up an hour to 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific instead of 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. We were on a bit of a time crunch with Junie because he had to get over there.
That's fair.
But it was still a great interview. Fun interview with Junie. And then just earlier today, we had Sturdy Sal Mastretta on for some shenanigans. Fantastic interview with him. What did you say, Walter? About an hour 45? Just under 2 hours?
Mm-hmm.
An hour 45 with Sturdy Sal. Another fun interview. But then, coming up on Tuesday, we will be having Simone Williams, the former Princess Aussie from WoW, will be joining us. The and new Future of Women's Wrestling champion, by the way.
Don't forget it.
Oh, I definitely won't, because I was there.
Yeah.
Both FWW shows I have been to saw their championship change hands. Zyra defeated Tiffany Nieves when I went last October, and Simone defeated Zyra when I went on my birthday.
There you go.
I think I'm safe in when I go to their next show, Simone's not going to lose it that quickly. But hey, who knows what happened.
Exactly. Continue.
And then the following day, on Wednesday, September 2nd, we will have the Pro Wrestling Symphony champion, Colby Carter, joining us. A week from Simone on September 8th. And again, I'm going to put him over because it's the first one Walter has locked in. Sam Stackhouse, one half of the and new GCW Tag Champions, is going to join us.
Nice.
And then that Thursday, we're going to get our first Zebra, as referee JC is going to be joining us. All of that and more, go back into the archives from yesterday, as Statboy and I did tribute streams both to Dolly Parton and Tim Curry.
Respect.
May they rest in peace. And then today, we lose Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime, the voice of Monterey Jack, the voice of Eeyore, and countless others. Just a rough couple of weeks going back to Hayden Pantier and just going forward. But much respect to all of those families and friends and loved ones that have lost, their fathers, grandfathers, brothers, sons, daughters,
Well, like I said, treasure your families. And as good old JR says, tomorrow is never guaranteed. So if you can, enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. And thank you for that, JJ. And may you continue doing what you do. And may we all continue what we enjoy doing, what we need to do, whether it's for work, for wrestling, for life, or just for the good name of it, to show what it means to be a human being with some common decency in and out of the internet. Thank you for that, JJ. And again, thank you everybody that has tuned in. If you want to further engage with me, try and find me if you choose at mfoster1916 on the X or on YouTube. For I am nothing more but a simple man and a lifelong fan of Consolidated. I'll go Bob Ross style. All right, fine. I'll do the whole thing here, but just so people's headphones don't blow up. Lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it. Again, Simply Predicting is the mothership, the flagship, if you will, of the Simmons brand. I love doing this for all the biggest shows, PLE experience across all the biggest brands, professional wrestling. Whether it's the Fed, NXT, AEW, TNA, ROH, or New Japan's biggest shows. And stay tuned, we'll be doing that for King of Pro Wrestling soon here. Again, I hope that y'all continue to be a part of the conversation. If you haven't already, participate in the leagues. They're fun exhibitions. It truly shows you can have fun simply predicting. That is the namesake of it. The next time, of course, we're doing Simply Predicting, believe it or not, it will be if you're on the East Coast tonight, Friday, 11:30 p.m. Standard Time, because there is some talent I do care about, and I do want to hope good for the future. We will be doing a simple Simply Predicting for NXT Heat Wave. And yes, there will be a prediction lead form for that as well. That will probably be out Saturday morning. So stay tuned for more on that. Then the next Simply Predictions, of course, for AEW will be AEW All Out. The Fed, I believe, is going to be the Money in the Bank. And TNA, of course, the next one with them, will be Bound for Glory. So stay tuned for more on those. If you haven't already, go check out the last simple session in conjunction with Batty for Wrestling, exclusively across Batty for Wrestling's brand. We got up to some Monopoly shenanigans, talking about properties and name values. Again, Ash was the player this week. Stay tuned for the next game where she will play in the game that I will participate in. And we talk more about women's wrestling, the next generation of wrestling, and gave our Batty outtakes on the G1 Climax. So if you want more on that, go check out that forum. I talked about Papagino earlier. Again, after we cover All In Sunday, stay tuned Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as me and Papagino break it down, a prediction league breakdown, give you the prediction league scores and our outlooks on the predictions, statistically and from an analysis standpoint. And that's all I got to plug for now. As I always like to conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters. Just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, treasure your families, and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It is truly as simple as that. But with that being said, thank you so much once again to every single one of you, whether continually or for the first time in doing, for tuning in to Simply Predicting. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Hit the bells if anyone's live on demand on any YouTube channels here, or follow us today on the X at SR Studios 24, and hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube, particularly to Rage of Wrestling, to Batty for Wrestling, and for that matter, to all my friends here. I assure you, the conversations, the predictions, the reactions, the rants, the madness, the expenses of my dignity are not going to let up anytime soon, and I hope that I further engages you and entertains you. And even though he wasn't on the forum, gotta give a shout out to Emmanuel. He was involved in the chat. Shout out to Los Domingos. Follow them as you see right there, and interact their games and movies. I don't know why YouTube flagged me. Again, he's been doing stuff with Kudo and Murder Mountain, trying to figure out movie stuff. Thank you for that, JJ. But that's all I gotta say for now, as lady and gentlemen and ladies, because I know there are actual professional wrestling fans that are of the, let's call it is, the better gender in the chat, because behind every man there's a better woman, as far as what I've heard, and I respect and acknowledge that. Thank you all so much for tuning in. So on behalf of Dave, Nick, Jeff, JJ, Charles, Walter, Ash, me, and all of you in the chat, whether we're in your feed on the X or on your screen at YouTube, I thank you so much for tuning in. So until next time, I got pause and impact in life. Have a good night. We're freaking going all in, as this has been Simply Predicting AEW London. Have a good night, folks, and we will see you tomorrow night for Heat Wave, and then Sunday for All in London following the shenanigans. Take care.